Live streaming is on.
Greetings and welcome to Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. And here at Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, talk about sport flying, competition flying, and whatever you'd like to do in your shop or what you've done at your flying field. We'd love to hear about it. Now, to join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunt Hangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. And you must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of Stunt Hangar, will not approve you. Now, if you are inclined to not come in and just want to enjoy the show, watching us on YouTube, that's great, fantastic. Please leave your comments and questions in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments part of the show. Now, mind you, it's hard sometimes for me to get a word in myself, so we might have even gone on, but I will still do my best to make your comments part of the show. Now, if you find Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts or the many building videos that Sparky does on this platform informative and enjoyable, please like, subscribe, and share the videos. That helps the channel grow. So when you go to your homepage in YouTube, you'll see some recommended videos. Well, those are the type of things we want to happen with our platform, is they're recommended videos. So I need your likes and your subscribes and um, to get the channel to grow. So we really appreciate that. And if you want to, you can also support us, help offset some of the expenses of running Stunt Hangar with your memberships, your YouTube memberships I'm speaking of. You can get special badges. You'll be able to have access to unlimited replay of member-only videos. And Sparky does a question and answer period that is is great. I mean, he has over 50 years of experience. I think he's built over 400 models. So he's a great resource to ask your questions on how to or how come he doesn't do it this way. Sometimes you can learn a lot by knowing what he doesn't do, and he'll tell you why he doesn't. And you can make a decision for yourself how you want to approach your plane. It's your plane. Now you also can donate using the super chat, which is a big dollar sign at the bottom of the chat box, and those donations help as well, and we appreciate it. And I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. I'd like to ask you to please keep your conversations family room friendly. In other words, don't say anything or don't use any words you wouldn't say around your children and grandchildren. I'm going to turn to my other monitor here. I'm going to post the link. This link is posted at the Stunt Hangar forum, and that's how you get into the show. And speaking of that, we do have a lot more replays than we have concurrent viewers. So if you're watching this as a replay, uh, you should subscribe so you get, and also hit the notification bell so you'll know when we're on. But the Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts they start at every Monday and Friday evening about this time. That's about 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that's how you can get in live and be part of the show as opposed to just watching a replay. Which I appreciate the replays, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And without any further ado, I already have a guest in here waiting for me. Let me turn my attention to Philip Bailey here, just a second here, and let me see me. Let me get the chat box up. Okay, we have 4 concurrent viewers right now, and no one's in the chat box, but the link should be posted. And I don't think I am. Let me undo my camera. I just noticed that my camera is not showing up. Yep. So, okay, we have 4 concurrent viewers right now, and no one's in the chat box. All righty.
You got a mic already, because I just did
it. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't have the camera on. Yeah. So hopefully they'll see the Junar and they'll hear my voice in the background. They'll just probably think I'm a voiceover. Hey, Eddie, what's up?
Eddie has arrived.
So what you been up to, Phil?
I'm just trying to get through Christmas, man. We have been busy. You can't have one get together. You got to have 20, and when they're stretched out between Virginia and Columbia, South Carolina, means somebody got to do a lot of driving, and Grandpa and Grandma were the ones this year. So
Oh boy.
it's
Well,
all
you
right.
know what? Grandparents are such troopers. I've seen my wife's mother. My parents have passed away, but my wife's parents, I see them driving. They live about 2.5 hours from here, but they'll drive to Oklahoma. You know, I'm here in Escondido, California, and they live in Redlands, California. And they'll drive to Oklahoma. I've seen them drive to Arizona, and then they'll come down here as well during the holidays. So it's
Man, I'm dedicated, but that's crazy. That's wild. Get
But
on
usually
there.
what happens is that my mother-in-law will fly out there, and then
Yeah.
my father-in-law he will drive out there and then drive them back. So he's not necessarily out there the whole week or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He's out there for short duty, but part of that duty is him driving her back. You know.
Man, I'm telling you what, brave man.
Yeah. Well, he's done a number of things in his life, but one of them was being a truck driver as well.
Oh boy.
So he doesn't seem to mind driving.
Yeah. When I retired from as a lineman, I thought I would deliver new line trucks and stuff for a year, and it didn't last that long. I drove 3 runs, delivered 3 trucks, and decided that those truck driving guys, I absolutely, my hats off to them, but I don't want their job. Santa Claus, you're back.
Personal life who actually believes that this woman celebrated Kwanzaa.
You don't want to turn that off so we don't get copyrighted, John.
I forgot. I was looking for the spot to turn it off at.
Okay. I know you was working on it, but we don't want no copyright strikes.
Big
Oh, no.
Big John, you had me worried Friday night. I didn't see you Friday night, and then I remembered, wait a minute, this is the night he has his big job, so he's probably tired tonight.
Had to feed the reindeer.
Yeah. Santa Claus had to rest a little bit.
Yeah, they get pretty hungry after that run. Got to realize you travel around the world and visit every house in the world, in one night. Come on.
Yeah. I tell you
Y'all
what.
didn't have as exciting a Christmas as we did.
What'd you do?
How's that?
Christmas morning, 6:30, somebody
They blew that. Yeah.
parked an RV on 2nd Avenue right outside the AT&T building and detonated it and blew out half the communication in the southeast here.
I've been to Tennessee. I didn't know you was there, Eddie. So how far are you from Mike Lonke?
They're
I'm
not
about 20 miles north of Nashville, and he's about maybe 20 miles south.
Good
Okay.
gracious.
He's down in Franklin, and I'm up in big old town of Greenbrier. But yeah, the guys we flew with, I mean, they were here in Robertson County, and him and another Fred drove all the way up from oh hell, I can't think of where he's from now, but it's about an hour, 15-minute drive.
Holy.
Come up and fly with him. So, but yeah, it was weird. I mean, we didn't have AT&T. We got Comcast and Verizon, so it didn't affect us any. But everybody that had AT&T cell service and all that was affected.
Wow.
But luckily, the only person killed was the bomber. So.
Okay. I know I heard they had some flesh, but that's about it. I didn't know.
Yeah, they played in a recording for about 4 hours, saying that there's going to be an explosion. Please evacuate.
Okay.
Well, the police went through and evacuated everybody, but It tore Second Avenue up.
Wow. Sorry to hear that.
Anyway, that's enough of that.
Anyway, so we have a new guest, or maybe I don't recognize.
I don't recognize him either.
Chris Steiner, aka Harleyman. Well, welcome, Harleyman.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We hear you.
Yeah.
We don't see you. Turn your
My
turn your
camera's
camera
not
on.
working. I don't know. I got it plugged in. I'm trying to get it to work.
Okay.
I just
Well, typically down on the right hand side, we got those 3 dots.
there we go. I had to
Awesome.
unplug it,
All
replug
right,
it.
now reload because you're showing us what makes you qualified to be part of the Belly Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, just raise your camera up a little bit. Just tilt your camera up a little bit more. Excellent. Well, nice to meet you, Chris. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm kind of late. Yeah, I just figured what the heck, I'm messing around in my shop here and working on Bislab and
I tell you what,
I'm gonna start to try
that's
out.
an airplane that will never do a competitive pattern, but you can have more fun with it than about any airplane out there. You can that's just a fun airplane.
Oh, wow, that's
nice.
pretty.
Does this look familiar?
That looks nice.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
looks
sure
very
does.
familiar, Eddie. That's a
Sure
cow
does.
to a Nobler.
Yep.
Nobler R.
That's my pattern I'm going to use to try to make my Nobler.
Very good. Go ahead, Chris. Let me see your. I got you big now.
Yeah.
You're taking the whole screen. Let me see it again.
What happened?
Yeah, I made you the prominent.
I'm
You're
the star of the show.
moment.
Yeah, to show off your plane. Oh, that's awesome.
So there's
That is
the fuselage, and so I just I lengthened the wings just a smidge for convenience. I wanted to use the full 30. I think the fuselage or the wings are usually
nice.
I made them 30. The bottom wing. This is the bottom wing. 32 inches with some tips.
Nice.
And then the top wing, just for fun, I made it one bay longer on top. So
Very nice.
I like it with the tips. That looks good.
thank you.
Oh, that's
yeah.
looks nice.
I thought
Yeah.
about doing that.
That looks nice. I like how that
That
looks.
does look nice.
And I built them using my about 20 years ago. I made a Tom Morris wing jig,
Mm-hmm.
and so this isn't the typical Bislab wing. I scratch built this one in a couple of nights. See the Tom Morris type
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Very nice.
leading and trailing edge.
Oh,
So
very
check-
nice.
Nice.
Oh, very nice.
It makes a nice straight wing.
Every time.
Yes. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
if you use
unique.
that system and you don't get a straight wing, you have screwed up.
Absolutely, I agree, 100%. And it's such an easy jig to make.
Yeah, it is. Tom
It's
really
like
thought that out. Tom and I've forgotten who worked with him on developing that, but I'm telling you, they did a heck of a job.
They're my flaps. So
Very, very nice, Chris. Wow.
I called in on the chat maybe 2 years ago.
All right.
Just
Wow.
one time I was at a buddy's house, Dave Siegler, and we chimed in, and I've been thinking about stopping back in, and now I didn't have a camera, so now I've got a cheapy camera and a cheapy microphone that seemed to work okay.
Yeah.
They work
So-
great.
I'll check in every once in a while.
Oh,
Where are
that'd
you?
be fantastic, Chris. I really appreciate you coming in. So, are you a member of Stunt Hangar?
Absolutely.
Okay, very, very cool.
Where
Yeah,
you from, Chris?
I've been a member since Robert started it way back when. Um, and yeah, I even flew with Bob or Sparky one time. He came out. I'm from the Milwaukee area.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, when Sparky was still working at the Harley dealer, he had to come out this way for some training. Um, and he contacted me, and we got together for a weekend and did some flying. And I'm just a beginner still.
Well, that's okay. You know what? I think the word beginner is such a frustrating word because most people who are beginners, they can actually fly pretty good still, but they got the name beginner. We should find a better word because, boy, to fly a plane level, even that's not easy. There are people out there who have tried to fly and they can't even keep the plane level. So
Yeah,
well, I've been flying for building and flying 50 years, and I'm still just advanced. So I mean,
yeah, I've been building and flying since I was, I don't know, maybe 12, 12 years old. So
I was
so
9.
yeah,
I'm
it's been a while for me, but I never had anybody in the area where I grew up to show me how to do it. So I kind of just did what I thought was right, and
what a
then
lot of us did.
I just a few years ago I joined the Milwaukee Circle Masters.
oh wow,
I was never part of a club. I didn't even know we had a club, but I found the guys and I joined the club. So ever since then, it's been a few years. I've been a sport flyer. I never wanted to fly contests. I'm a stunt guy. I never wanted to fly in contests because I wanted it to stay fun. But the guys talked me into starting to fly contests, and they said, "Don't even think of it as a contest. Just go and just fly. Just do
fun.
it. Do it. Just have fun. Just pretend you're not in a that it's not for a contest." And so I did. And my first contest, I was going to enter beginner, and the guy said, "No, you can do all the stuff in the pattern. Skip beginner. Do what's next? Intermediate."
Intermediate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my first contest, I flew in intermediate, and I won. I took first place, and I was flying a flight streak, an R flight streak, and so yeah.
That is great. That's awesome, Chris.
That is great.
Really is.
I tell you what,
You know what I find interesting? You're a circle master. I was a circle master when I lived in Wisconsin. I knew all the guys. Of course, Dan Tetzloff has passed away.
yeah,
But,
that's okay. You
yeah.
know the guys. All right. What? I'm sorry. What is your name, sir?
John Miller.
John Miller.
John Miller.
Yeah, I have heard of you. Some of the guys. Some of the guys have had stories.
Are any of them good?
I've heard the name. I've heard the name. No, you know what? I don't recall it. They weren't anything nothing memorable, nothing embarrassing or anything like that. But I've heard the name. Yeah.
Huh. It was a good bunch of guys you tied up with. Excellent club.
Yeah. Gosh, how long ago were you a member?
Oh, it was in the mid 80s until I left Wisconsin. I moved in 90, not mid 80s, late 80s. That's late 80s until about 1990, 91. Then I moved out here out west.
He's a wild man.
You guys, let me do some housekeeping real quick. We have Todd Simpson, and there's a gentleman, I believe. Don't know what language it is, but hello. I'm sure you know who you are. And then there's Minnesota Mike and Jeff Riley. And thanks, guys, for showing up. And
Hey,
there's just
Mike.
a little bit of a chit chat about the weather, looks like, and how things have been. But you guys, welcome.
Been cold. It's wintertime.
We actually got snow on the ground today,
Oh my goodness.
and it's supposed they've got a weather advisory until 2 days from now. So it's supposed to just
Yeah.
kind of. It's not a heavy snow, it's just, but it's about 2 inches out there right now. So
Yeah, my daughter
We're
wanted
supposed to
us
get
to come.
freezing rain on Friday, so way to bring in 2021.
Hey, it's got to be better than 2020. I'm just
Yeah.
glad.
Yeah.
I just
I'm not
I'm
sure.
looking forward to seeing 2020 in the rearview mirror. Man, this has been a bummer of a year.
Yeah.
A year
Amen.
that wasn't.
Amen. Amen.
yeah,
Hey, I got some stuff here I want to ask. They were relatively cheap. I use those props.
never heard
I
of it.
Nice.
think I bought one. Does it say sale plain on the other side, or that's all it says, a JXF?
Yeah, it's a Zor or X Zor or whatever they are.
Oh, that's a good
Yours are
prop.
good
Oh.
prop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got those, and also my my dope dealer showed up. Yeah,
Ah,
You did.
good for you.
yeah, that stuff is almost as quick as Brodak. It's from Wix.
Yeah.
I ordered it Saturday night and got it Tuesday.
Did you have to pay
Good grief.
shipping or hazardous or anything on it?
No, it was $77 total
Wow.
Oh,
For a gallon?
for a gallon. Yeah.
Oh my God,
Wow. You got a good deal.
Hobby.
that's
I mean,
a good
Yeah.
I
deal.
figured if I bought
Yeah,
a
that is-
gallon from Brodak, it's going to cost me $100 plus extra.
that is a good
shipping.
deal.
So
That's a
Well-
very good deal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bob,
the last gallon of dope I bought here last year was $38.
Woo.
You
what?
sure that was last year?
Yeah,
You sure you hadn't had about a 20-year time warp? The last
I
gallon
I
dope
get
bought was
mine out of
118.
Ohio, and I know they were always cheaper than everybody else.
My gosh, give me the
this
address.
was this was on the Wix web page. Steve, you said that thinner from Lowe's would work.
The what?
The thinner from Lowe's, that lacquer thinner, the blue can,
Home Depot.
Home Depot. Okay. Yeah,
Yep,
Jasco. Okay.
Jasco.
Hey guys, I've been working really hard on the plans for the Vanguard. I just about got the profile done, all the bulkheads and all of that, and I really like Bob Hunt's idea of having the airflow completely through the fuselage and exit out the tail end. I thought that was great, so I had to redo all of that. But yeah, I'd like to show it to you if you don't, if you'd like to see it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes,
All right.
please.
Okay, let me see if I can.
See, Santa Claus is showing us that he can do more than just drive reindeer. He can also.
Woo.
Wow, that's nice. Also knows his way
There
around
we
the
go.
computer.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah, what I did, I boxed up all the types and sizes of wood. I've got them boxed up on there, so like all these down here are set up to be either balsa, if you got it. As expensive it is, it's probably cheaper to go with light ply, and
I think it
at
would be
332nd light ply. But it's lightened up enough, that I've limited the balsa to basically the outer shell and stab elevator. Something that I was thinking about here, we talk about logarithmic controls, where they're softer around neutral and get a little more aggressive as you go up to. Well, I believe, and the reason I put this balance on the elevator and at an angle is I believe that around neutral, you get very little effect from the balanced, from the balanced area. But as you start to give it more control, you get more of it down and where it's open and not masked by the stab itself. And I think what I'm hoping to find out, what I believe I'll find out, is that as you give it more control, you get more control, like a logarithmic or log bell crank would give you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's done aerodynamically with the flying surface. So that's one little thing I've got going in there. And as you can tell, let's see, I've got. I may wind up using fiberglass or glass fiber wheel pants, but I've figured out I've got the thing in here for building it out of the wood itself. I'm just trying to cut down as much of the balsa wood because I think buying some parts carbon fiber would be cheaper than making them out of balsa wood. But anyway,
yeah, and we can keep Treying busy.
Say what?
And we can keep Treying busy.
Yeah. Well, that's the wing. As soon as I get this, all of the call outs done and the notes that I'll set this aside and go to the wing. The wing is in pretty good shape. It just needs a lot of call outs and that. After that comes the pattern sheets, and the pattern sheets you know how I like to build using pattern sheets. If I could totally scratch. Say what?
I said it makes it so easy. Your plans make it so easy.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I try to. I think that boxing all the parts of like wood. These being either balsa or light ply. These are called out as light ply. These here, I didn't box those. Didn't have any room for much more. I could have done it here, but I like to keep the parts close to where they're going to be used, so that you see, this is F2. Well, here's F2 right here, But I hope that makes it easier to read and use the plan. The other nice thing about the pattern sheet is I can take the pattern sheet itself, take the file, send it to somebody who laser cuts, and then cut right off the pattern sheet. But I've done that with a couple of people now that I've, for instance, I had Brodak laser cut. You know that little German twin that I showed you a year or so ago? Well, I had them cut all of the laser cut parts for that. Then it came out, I got it downstairs, a nice little short kit, basically. I don't remember what I paid for it, but it was not bad. Anyway.
When are you going to start building that?
As soon as I get the pattern sheets done, I'll start building it.
Wow.
Is that a plastic canopy, or is that going to be wood?
That's a plastic canopy, and that'll be formed. The canopy actually goes from this here clear up to here. There's a pin that pins in there, and this lifts off completely, exposing the entire engine or motor and battery thing. And I'll stick Trey's advice, and these are for the battery box. These are 1/2 by 1/2 aluminum angle iron. That this one, the outboard one, is locked or glued into place, but this one is set up. It's indexed so that it can be slid out or in to fit whatever thickness the battery is. And then, like say, you just use a Velcro wrapped around with a D-ring, and you just wrap around that, hold it tight to that.
Is his arrow off for everybody else?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
You can't see the arrow?
Yeah, we can see the arrow
at the tail. At the tail when you were saying about the battery box.
Okay, it's at the battery box now. Can you see it now?
You got it right on the fuselage of the tail.
Huh? I got it. I got it up on the electric motor right now.
No, you don't.
Now you're on the bottom left-hand corner of that airplane where you can see the tail and part of the wing.
Middle one. Now you're dead in the middle of the wing on the bottom left-hand corner. Right, that you were on the spinner there for a second of the left-hand drawing.
Well, it's got a lag in what it's doing, apparently.
You'll have
Anyway,
to put yours on the wing to show us the motor.
We know where it is.
Yeah.
We know what we can follow you. That is
Yeah, well,
a sweet little airplane, John. That's neat.
well, thank you. I think so. You know, I'm trying a couple of things here. The idea of the counterbalance or the on the elevator. I've got no flaps on there, but I believe that if you've got a stationary flap and it's got an angle, the air is coming in, it actually strikes that flap. That flap, when you make a turn, that flap is acting like it's actually deployed when you into the airstream when you've got an angle of attack on it.
Yeah.
And so it's like you put down 5 to 7 degrees of flap while you're making a turn, and so you're not fighting between the flap and the elevator as far as how the forces are set up. Gordon Delaney and I got in a big discussion. He explained it to me some time back. He said that he flew a fly wing without the stationary flap on there, and it was okay. But when he put the stationary flap on there, it was a whole lot better when he's flying combat.
Yeah, they'd be surprised how much that extra area makes a difference.
Well, the extra area and it acts like it's deployed.
Yeah, it does.
When you're in a hard turn, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's a fully symmetrical wing, so it's not impossible, but it's difficult to maintain fully elliptical and have moving flap in it.
Man, you really got Gary excited.
You gotta
come on everything in the seat.
Say what?
Said you really got Gary excited.
I couldn't understand what you said.
I said you really got Gary excited. He's jumping up and down in his seat.
Oh, he's not asleep though.
He just woke up. And his head come up. That's what I said. You got him excited.
Ah. Well, anyway, any questions or that before I shut it down?
John, the only question I got: have y'all done any work with V-tails? Because the sailplanes I used to fly that were V-tail, just make sure that you have a handle like a fancer where you have a lot of tang to where you can reduce the up travel and have more down, because the up the elevators, when they come up together, they kind of dam the air up in the center, and it's like the elevator becomes much more efficient in up than it is in down, where it's going away from each other.
You're right. You're right. If you look right above the front view of the airplane, you look right above it. I've actually shown those are actually phantom lines that are there. They appear darker in this particular on the screen, but yeah, it shows that effect right there. I've got it to where maximum deployed. It doesn't contact the fuselage. But in actuality, though, if you look, it's only maximum at 35 degrees. So there's a good portion of the fuselage well, not really, but yeah, but you're right. You got that big gap on the bottom. When you give it down, the gap just gets bigger.
Yeah.
Well, and you got
as much V in it as we had on the sailplane, so it won't be as critical. But it will still,
right.
Your up still going to be more sensitive than your down, or at least
yes,
I think
it will.
But that's
it will, and
I want to see this plane fly. You got to hurry up and get this thing built. This is going to be
cool. I've got to get it built and see that, and I'm going to document the build series on it and take it out flight. And if it's good, I'll probably try to publish it in Model Aviation. I guess that's really the only one left that's publishing model airplane stuff. That's
Yeah,
not.
that's true.
I would
Yeah.
like to see a cutaway action of the VTALs, see how it works. I mean, I know how you told me how, and I could see the concept, but actually, I mean, just visualizing how everything slides,
Well-
moves, and everything was.
Oh, you mean the lucky boxes?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with those. So
What
All of them. Go ahead, John.
you can kind of see it on the section AA there. You know the elevator throws are going straight up and down. So, but you see where the tip of the bottom one is and the tip of the upper one is. That's how far it's got to travel. And if you look right above that, you'll see the little lucky boxes on either side. One of them's got some dimensioning on it, and that allows it to slide. Now, I built the All-American Eagle, the Gerke's All-American Eagle, which has anhedral in the stab, just a little bit, not about 10 degrees or less. Anyway, but it needed something there because I don't like using, if I can get away with it, I don't like using double horns back there.
Mm-mm.
So I actually made a lucky box. You know that one that it's 3/16, I believe, rectangular brass tubing that you can get from K&S. I used that, and I had just enough slop in there, and those work really smooth. In fact, since I did that, I make lucky boxes on every flap assembly, whether it's straight or not. I use lucky boxes on them just in case there's any misalignment, because I don't want any hard spots or anything like that in my flap arrangement or my control arrangement. Probably will start doing it on the elevators too. The whole idea is just to take care of any slight misalignments. You know, try as hard as we can. We oftentimes get a little slight misalignment, and so by having that kind of slop, which doesn't affect the elevator and the flap throw, because if you like the old days, the airplanes flew better as the elevator horn wore and made a bigger hole. It had more slop in there, and they actually flew better. That was because we weren't using down thrust and other things like that to aerodynamically balance the airplane. Did I answer your question okay?
yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for letting me put it up here and talk about it.
Oh, very good, man.
Now, let's see.
Thank you for sharing. That's a cool design, John.
It really is. That's gonna be
Thank you
neat.
very much. Let's see.
I'm down to
I
just one
figure
more
out-
Christmas present to make it in the mail.
One more,
Our
huh?
last,
Done?
our last one came today. Thank goodness.
Yeah,
Hey, you got to see my.
I got the DNA test. Then I got Samantha and her boyfriend, her fiance. So I took that over there to them tonight, and I told them I hope they find out they're not first cousins, and have to go to Alabama to get married.
Only Steve.
Yeah, they're probably like 33rd cousins.
It's
I,
a small
Well,
world.
Like
solve
a lot
that
of us
problem.
are.
Just quit counting.
Yeah,
Oh, Lord.
I tried to figure out how to flip my camera so this would read the correct way, but I got this for Christmas. I found this humorous.
Ah,
Oh, very good.
That's
I like
pretty good,
I like
John.
that.
I do too. That's pretty neat.
That's good.
Lord.
I found this humorous. Oh, very good. Yeah, I broke my femur bone when I was young.
Oh,
Oh,
That's better than an airplane.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Really?
yeah.
Depends on how good the airplane was. having broken a few bones, I'm telling you, it depends on how good airplane we're talking about.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, your bones fix themselves.
Not always correctly.
Neither do my planes.
Yeah. Sometimes your bones have to be re-broken and fixed. Oh.
Yeah, like that finger is all still
Yeah.
real crooked, but at least it works.
Yeah, that's what I say. Mine still works, but I barely got healed up from getting that one caught in the door and having it broken. My brother closed the door on that one. Oh, I had a rough childhood.
Well,
I took
at least my fingernails grown all the way back out now.
Oh, very good.
So that's not too bad. Up top where the scars at, it's still all messed up, but it's smoothing out.
Yeah.
I took a fall at the last Rodax I was at, and I broke this thumb here, way back here.
Oh, Lord.
And it was kind of, so I grabbed it like this, pop, and put it back in. But I had to go to the doctor anyway. I got to the doctor. Well, I waited till I got down to Atlanta, where I was visiting my wife's family down there, and went to the VA down there. And they looked at it and said, well, you got it set pretty good, but we're going to put some pins in there. So they put some pins in there, and it works okay, but I'm restricted a little bit on the movement. I have a problem since I got electrocuted. I can't oppose my thumb and fingers. I'm more like a gorilla now.
Well, at least you'll be able to climb trees good then.
Can't climb trees. We're the diddly. Gorillas shake the tree down more than climb them, I think.
That's it.
Hey,
That's it.
there's my,
You could be a balsa wood hunter. Just
yeah.
go up there and
Tell
get
you
it.
what,
Yay.
there won't
Hey, Len.
Lynn, I got something to show you.
Uh-oh. Run, Lon, run.
Run, Lynn.
No, you didn't get to see it the last time, so
Wow.
Let me make you big, Eddie. Oh, it's a platter.
that's my
Hey.
Leonard Skinner album.
My goodness. Good.
Wow.
Are you
That is
serious?
so
The center hole is
He's
the
not kidding.
Is it really
Yeah.
Leonard? Leonard Skinner?
Leonard Skinner.
Shut up. Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
got a little Cub engine on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think if you play that plane and have a skip in it.
There's the fuel tank. Goes in the
Goodness.
hole right there. I built that when I was probably 12.
That's kind of ironic, isn't it? That they died in a plane crash and you make a plane out of their album?
Yeah, it crashed too. See the repair
Oh,
job?
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of there now. It was a vision I had. And I thought I'm going to do that.
That was my favorite line from that movie. I can't think of the name of the movie.
Con Air.
Con Air, yeah.
Yeah, I like that movie. Hey, Eddie, what's that box behind you with the stars and stripes? What is that, Miss America?
No, that's
Whoa, too much.
Hey, no more twerking, all right?
Freezes on the butt.
P-51D, all right.
It's a Great Plains. I got that. It's a RC, but I'm gonna turn it into a control line. But I got it for $25 off of Craigslist. So
Ooh.
Whoa.
Hey, how detailed is the cockpit?
oh, I don't know that far. I mean, it's got a pilot in it. They show, but I don't know.
But sometimes it's nice to harvest the cockpit out of those RC planes that are really detailed and put them in a control line, but it's not too heavy.
Yeah, this is a 57-inch wingspan, 580 square inch, weight 6 pounds,
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
but it also
RC trip.
but it's RC, so it's going to be minus the all the radio stuff. So
Very cool.
they had half a wing built and part of the fuselage built, so I got a head start on it. But I've had it for probably 5 years now and hadn't done nothing with it. I ain't had time and place to do it.
I understand. I understand.
You think Sparky's got a small spot? This is it for me. I mean, I've got them stacked on top of each other in here.
Well, you know what? Sparky has been an influence on me because I actually was going to try to clean my garage first, but after seeing Sparky working in his apartment in his small, what's he call it? He calls it
His closet.
he calls the one in St. Louis something west, and maybe it's Stunthangar east. But yeah, and I saw him working on that bench he got from Harbor Freight, and I was like, you know what? He's just building on a little small area, so I thought I started building. That's what kind of got me started again. Was that?
Yeah, if we had to wait for you to get your garage cleaned, it'd be a couple years.
You know what? I would probably be in the wheelchair by then.
I know you were cleaning your garage for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Right.
Still,
Damn.
yeah. So now I'm just working. I'm just moving things around and getting where I need to get and put things where I need to put and just trying to continue to progress. Of course, life gets in the way and stuff, but yeah, I'm not letting it stop me. I'm moving regardless of the debris and stuff in my garage.
Yeah, I gotta start getting rid of stuff, otherwise I'm gonna get on that damn TV show Hoarders.
Yeah. Oh, it's easy to
In
do.
there and I got damn planes stacked all over the place and
It's easy
ones
to
in every
do.
room and stuff like that.
You know what happens?
You're not the only one in danger ending up there.
You know what happens when you die and you still got all that stuff, don't you? If your wife doesn't, if you got a wife but she doesn't know what it is, it goes to the landfill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
Exactly right.
if you got a buddy, they get what do they call it? Yard sale prices for it. In fact, speaking of that, a friend of mine here is taking care of an estate sale for a fella that died here not too long ago, and got a lot of stuff. He's been selling it out for him for his widow. And I picked up. Remember the Tower 40s?
Yeah.
Well, I had one brand new. I never used it, and I wound up letting it go. And I kicked myself for doing that. So he had 2 of those, so I got him. I got both of those from him. And then I've been kind of leaning towards trying out some diesels. I tried out diesels once on a franchise twister, and it worked out real well. It was like a 28 diesel. Actually, it was a Davis diesel conversion of a KMB 28 Sportster. Worked very well. And so I picked up a couple of years ago, I picked up a PAW 35. I picked up a 19 and a 40 from my friend selling out of the estate. So I got some fun things coming here soon. So it'll be
Great. Hey guys, let me do some housekeeping real quick. We have a new, not new person, but Montana Farmer is here. Welcome, Montana Farmer. Thanks for coming in tonight. I see Jeff and Minnesota Mike have been going back and forth. And we have 5 likes and 21 concurrent viewers. So please smash the like button for me. I really would appreciate it. It helps the platform grow and get more views, and it helps grow the channel. So please hit the likes. I mean, there's 21 of you out there. We only have 5 likes, so please smash that like button. And don't forget the super chat, and don't forget to become a member of our YouTube channel. So that's it. Go ahead, guys.
Hey, Phil.
Yes, sir.
How far are you from, you say you're in North Carolina, right?
Yes, sir. Winston-Salem area.
Okay. Well, how far is that from Walkertown?
Oh, 15 miles.
Okay. I ordered something from on eBay, a couple of handles from there. So
Yeah.
I thought, hey,
Yeah,
that might be up around your area. So
Yeah, I know who's selling it. There's only one guy that lived in Walkertown, and he's he's selling
yeah, one of them was the old Hanger 9 handle, had the adjustments, the thumb screws.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the other one was like just a hard point with cables on it. Not a hard point, but the has the bar across. I'm going to convert.
What do you got? Peter, a golf club?
It's probably a Tom Morris handle.
Peter, what do you have?
He had several of them anyway. I don't know if that's what he's selling, but he had several of those.
Yeah.
Peter, what you holding?
Oh, where's Charles?
Top left.
He left?
Top left hand corner.
Who left? There he is. Charles, you said you broke
the dark bald guy there.
Charles frozen?
Charles,
yeah, he's frozen on mine.
Yeah, he's frozen on mine too.
Yeah, he said that he broke his femur bone. And I was wondering if he recognizes this. That is what they put in your femur when you break it to stabilize the bone. Basically, that goes.
TMI.
That goes into your femur. That came out of my right. That came out of my right femur.
Ooh.
Wow. Here.
Ungawa.
11 millimeters, right hand side.
Yeah, I had something like that in my tibia. Back in '88, I was in a motorcycle accident, broke both of my legs. A kid in a brand new red Ford pickup truck hit me, and below the knee, both tibia and fibia, spiral fractures, punched out of the bone, punched out of the leg, and I had one of those rods put inside of my my tibia, and had it removed. I lost track of it, but it looked a lot like that.
What did you take him out for?
What's that?
Because if your bone happens to break again, it went from under my knee all the way down to my ankle, and if that bone broke again, it would just shatter.
Yeah, this would just rip you up.
Yeah.
Not only that, it makes it hell to get through the airport.
Yeah.
Plus, when I was given the option of leaving it in or taking it out, it says, "Oh, it doesn't really belong in there. Do I need to have it?" They said, "No." Well, then take it out.
I just had a ankle replacement, real common.
That's what I was
back online now.
That's why I was saying, Charles, if this
back
is kind of familiar. I was wondering if they inserted one of these when he broke his femur.
For me?
Yeah.
No, it just I was in a walking cast for. I was young. I was only in like the 9th grade.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So they wouldn't put that in there because you're still growing.
Yeah, I was still growing. So they put me in a walking cast, and that's kind of I don't know how long I had a walking cast on until it healed up.
Quite a while, because the femur is the biggest bone in the human body. So.
Yep.
Not just that. Every time you take a step, all your weight.
You're talking about going through the airport or whatever. You know. Now, can you see my glasses on top of my head?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you?
I wear them like that all the time because if I need to see up close, and I'll throw them back up because I don't have a pocket or whatever. Yeah. So, on the way to France, I got my damn glasses on top of my head.
I know where this is going.
And it kept kicking me out of every time that thing went around me or whatever.
Right.
And nobody's seen the glasses on top of my head. And they call over and then a supervisor and all this. And I'm looking on the screen and I'm like, oh shit, it's my glasses. And they just looked at me really stupid, and I took them off and went back into them. But it's like, like 3 guys were there and they couldn't figure out I had glasses on top of my head and sent off that damn.
Well, they don't often see a guy that's got eyeballs on the top of his head, you know.
That exact same thing happened to me. Coming home from Mexico, I've got aluminum sunglasses, and I had them on top of my head, and I kept setting off the machine. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
Same thing.
But yeah, I mean, I always worked with them on top of my head and everything, because if I had to read a schematic, I just drop them down, you know, then put them back up. But
That's what I do.
I know I tried bifocals, but them things will make you trip over pipes and stuff on the ground.
Well, until you get used to them.
Even
Get used to it.
even once
That's how you get used to it.
them, all the guys at work, they all got rid of their bifocals, because these pipes that are, you know, a foot off the ground or 6 inches, you hook your toes under them. It's like it throws off something, and everybody was tripping and falling, so we all got rid of our bifocals. And I just
The
reading
funniest
that.
thing is that you had a whole bunch of people looking right at you, and nobody bothered noticing. Oh, you got glasses on top of your head.
Yeah, and I mean, it told them what area. They kept like going around my neck and up my back and stuff like that, you know, and couldn't find anything. They put me back through it, and it triggered the thing again. And I happened to see them. I seen it on a printout, you know. It was like a fake body, and on top of my, and I'm like, well, hell, that's right on top of my head. And I'm like, oh, my glasses.
See, that's kind of surprising, because you and I are both short. You would think they were at least seeing the top of our heads.
But I think they were thinking I was I had something around the neck of my shirt, or, you know, poked in
You had one of
somewhere.
those-
You know, they're
you had one
looking.
of those neck
Like
bombs
a sneaky
on.
person, Steve.
Neck bomb.
They thought you were a sneaky person or something.
A what?
They thought you were a sneaky person.
Yeah, a short terrorist.
Yeah.
Neck bomb.
You might be able to pass for it. I know I could. Anybody shows up dressed like Santa Claus, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they'll let you right through then.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
Len,
got
are you gonna miss the freezing rain, or is it gonna hit you guys?
I haven't heard. I don't know.
Man, we're right on the.
I haven't seen any yet, so we'll see.
And we're right on the edge.
I hope it misses us. But I'm not going anywhere, so it doesn't matter.
Here.
Yeah, they're talking about like 3 inches of snow and ice, and they said that we could lose our power and everything else.
Wow.
Oh no, I hope not.
And you,
I want to build airplanes tomorrow. I don't need to lose my power.
No.
Well, it's supposed to be Friday.
Okay, all right.
we're getting
Oh, I
hit
got
with
one.
snow on
I got
Friday
one
too.
word for you. I got one word for you. If you're in an area that loses power like that, Generac.
Right?
It's real nice when the power goes out. You hear something. Your lights go out for a second. 1, 2, 3. The lights come back on. You hear a little bling outside. That's it.
Huh.
It
That's
runs
awesome.
off propane and don't have to worry about it.
No problem. That's awesome.
Let me get some housekeeping done again. Greg Nielsen says, "Evening all. Hope you all had a great Christmas. Hope the new year keeps the wind under your wings." And
Oh, very nice.
and then Minnesota Mike says that this is regarding you, John. He says, "Diesel is fun to fly, just stink bad."
Well, yeah, they're
Yeah.
sticky.
Yeah. And I also want to say hi to Tom Rommel and Tryon and Lynn. Welcome.
Hey, look,
Tom ain't saying nothing.
Hey, Charles.
Speak up, Tom. Let us know you got a voice.
Hey, Lynn.
Yeah, I was on Facebook this weekend and found an airplane I was interested in and was going to go see it on Sunday, but it snowed all day Sunday, so I had to cancel Sunday. So I drove out today. I got dug out of the driveway and drove out to look at it today and ended up buying it.
Now this is
But
a real airplane?
It's a radio controlled airplane. It's
okay.
98-inch wingspan.
Wow.
What kind is it?
It's home built. It's not there. It's not any kind of model. It's just a high wing, sort of like kind of like the ugly stick type, but it's black wing and white fuselage.
Oh, okay.
I think
What kind of engine?
What was that? Oh, there was no motor on it. It's for electric.
What are you going to put on it?
I'll put an electric motor on it.
That's a big one. Okay, cool.
I think my favorite of those ugly stick type models was the Miss Martha. I doubt y'all have heard of it. It was a local.
Yeah, I heard of it.
They fly great.
As RC Report.
Yeah, that's what they did. Another one I really liked was Magnum 40. Dan Sandage's Magnum 40. That thing flies great. I've got one of those, and it still, after all these years, it still flies great. But I mean, it is fast.
I thought I should take the chance to go look at it today because we're supposed to get snow again, big snowstorm again tomorrow.
Wow.
And
that's
tonight
why
it's
you need to move south.
supposed to be 2 below tonight.
Oh.
Fahrenheit.
2 below. That's in Mississippi.
2 degrees below Fahrenheit.
You need to move south.
Yeah.
You need to move to North Carolina. Then I can have a lot of good flying partners.
Yeah, I had an instructor in NADC when I went to automotive school. He was from Minnesota. And I asked him, I said, what brought you down here? He said, well, I got tired of the cold weather, so I loaded up my snowblower in the back of the pickup truck and I headed south. Well, somebody asked me what it was. He said, I figured if they didn't know what it was, that'd be a good place to stop. We're like, yeah, that's a funny looking tiller you got there.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to love the cold. I mean, I skied and I snowmobiled and I skated and played hockey and all that kind of stuff, but I don't much care for
Me too, Steve.
I just don't much care for the cold weather anymore.
Nope,
I'd love to go back up to Alaska where I lived for a while, but I don't like the cold anymore either.
No,
I don't either. Lynn, I'm not knocking you, brother, but you got no choice but to like the cold weather.
No, not really. I'm sort of in the furthest southerly part of Canada that you can get.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than where I was.
Yeah, that's why I asked him, because he's just about directly east of where I live. So what I get the next day, usually he gets.
And I'm further north than either of those guys.
Yeah.
In Minnesota.
Yes, you are.
You could be up at Yellowknife there, Lynn.
No, you're up.
Oh yeah.
Further than the Upper Peninsula here in Michigan, aren't you?
No. South of there.
No.
Oh,
yeah.
Directly across from Detroit.
Yeah, I've got a son-in-law who I always thought is ex-son-in-law, who I always thought was a really smart guy. He just uprooted his new family and moved to the Upper Peninsula. I'm trying to figure out why in the world did you want to go to Houghton this time of year?
Because he likes to talk funny and shovel snow.
He always talked.
That's crazy.
Funny anyway, but
to Houghton.
Yeah,
he went to Houghton.
Yeah, he sent me a picture. It says they were moving back up there, and he saw a sign on the side of the road. He said it looks like a state sign. It says "End of Earth 6 miles." 12.
I thought Houghton Lake though.
Wow.
Houghton is in Lower Peninsula.
It's in the Upper Peninsula.
Houghton's in the Upper Peninsula.
Way up in the Upper Peninsula, and there's
up on the southern shores of Lake Superior.
Yeah, there's a college there, and in the wintertime, if you want to take a shower, you go to the college because the city's water system freezes up. That's no
That,
joke.
that's
I wouldn't.
that's um. Oh shit!
Uh-oh, curse jar.
And immediately,
I can't think of the name of the town, but it's not Houghton. It's
Duluth.
no.
Not here. Track splice. There it goes.
That's
Word.
it's a
I
town
know.
right next to Christmas. There's Christmas, Michigan, and then there's
Well, I know when you fly out of there, you're on a plateau, and when you're at 0 feet, and then all of a sudden the wheels are rolling, and then all of a sudden you're 500 feet in the air, and you're holy jeepers! Took right off the top of a mountaintop.
yeah. That's oh man. I'll have to look.
We
Yeah, quick
got
question.
There's a college in Illinois that has the same thing. That they're really good in basketball.
Now, if you hadn't asked me, I told you. Dadgummit. Got a weird name.
While you guys think about it, Eddie, you have a model airplane comment or question?
Yeah. You guys use any magnetic prop balancers, or what type of prop balancers do y'all use?
I have one of those.
I've used the Dubro one, and I've used the magnetic one by Top Flight. I've used them both.
If you
Dubro
find
one.
something that'll get it any closer than that one from Top Flight, you be sure and buy an extra one and send it to me, and I'll send you a check. That's the best one I've ever used.
Because I was looking at these, and it weighs 17 grams even. It's 11.6, but they've got a shellac. They've been clear coated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they're pretty cool. But
Marquette,
Oh, Marquette University. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that Houghton is kind of like right in the middle of the state, and that's where all the snowmobile go. Then they got Tip Up Town on the big Houghton Lake and stuff like. But you're thinking of Marquette. That's where the university is at. They're
Houghton, the one I know that I'm thinking of is on the Upper Peninsula, about 12 to 25 miles east of Duluth, on the southern shores of Lake Superior.
The college in Houghton is something tech, my daughter says.
I know they're famous. They're famous for their pasties.
It's right before you get to Houghton.
Oh, Michigan Tech.
Yeah, that might be it. But I know
that's
where everybody in Houghton goes to take a shower. That's where we had to go to take a shower. I was complaining about how in the heck can you take a shower up here because the water in my room was frozen. Oh, you have to catch the bus to go to the college. What?
That's crazy.
It was crazy, but that's the way living up there is. Those people, you got to be a hardy light. I'm telling you.
Wow.
You got to love
Hey guys, let me see if I can help out.
That's crazy.
Oh, he just left. There's a guy that keeps trying to come in, Wes Sibling, I think. I didn't quite catch the last name, but next time he comes in, let me see if I can find out what's going on. He's tried to come in 3 times already.
Well, maybe we'll get him next time. I hope.
You know, we talk about
Tran, how are you?
that cold and that snow. We in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, where I live. In Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, where I lived, we used to fly RC off the bay, the Sturgeon Bay itself, and the closest place we could get the cars to fly, we built skis and all that for our planes, but was right where some guys were fishing for yellow perch. And they'd get so angry when we'd come in, we'd slide into their tip-ups.
I tell you what, I thought that was the craziest thing. When I was up there, we went out to the lake. They wanted to show me the lake. I told the guy I was a model flyer, and he took me out to see the local model flyers where they fly that time of year. He says, in the summertime, we kind of have to rough it, but in the wintertime, we got a great place. So help me, they drove out onto the lake cars, trucks. I'm being too loud. I got to quiet. But they drove out onto the lake and would take brooms and sweep out the circle. And it was the darndest thing I'd ever seen.
Anybody else getting a lot of static?
No.
No. I mean, I hear it. It's kind of like white noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear it. But it's pretty low decibels, though. It's not really noisy.
Did it just stop?
No, I still hear it.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't my radio being on.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's gone completely.
No, come back.
That's just Steve hard.
Steve's got his glasses on. He's interfering with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Is reception better now?
Get the
raise your right arm up.
Get the aluminum foil out.
That's very good.
It's back.
Yeah, I got a son
somebody
in Walkertown.
Back on.
I got a son in Walkertown, and you guys talking about Walkertown.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Why would you make him go there?
That's great.
Hey, Steve.
I'll
Steve, quit thinking.
No, I was just
in Walkerton.
Walkertown.
We were
Walkertown, North Carolina.
Where Holton was, but yeah, there's a Holton there too in the UP. There's a Holton down by us, but they call it Holton Lake.
Well, my wife says that she thinks that college is Gogebic. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah.
And that might be it. I'm not sure.
Well, they got a lot of Finns in that moved into that upper peninsula Holden.
Yeah.
So you don't know what the language might be around there. It's interesting how in that part of the country, you had a lot of ethnic groups that kind of moved in and close to each other. You go from 12 miles away, and they talk all the short of different there, you know.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I used to be a national service technician before I went to work for the city. And when I wasn't traveling, which was 24 days a month, I'd be in the office answering the telephone, trying to solve people's problems on the phone. We used to get to where we would guess, 4 of us would be in there, and you had to, in the first 30 seconds of talking to somebody, you had to guess and write it down where they were from. And if you weren't within 100 miles of where they were from, you had to go do the next coffee run. I didn't make many coffee runs, but that's been 30 years, and I've kind of lost my ear. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. But you talk to somebody from Harlingen, Texas, and you just have to drag it out of them because they talk so slow. And then you talk to somebody from Canada, and they talk so they can fast. But I had to tell them that, you can talk Northern, but I hear Southern. So if you want me to hear it and understand it, you might want to slow down just a little bit. I know it's cold up there, but my God, they talk fast.
They talk fast because their teeth are chattering and they got to keep up with it.
When I lived in Switzerland, and then back when I used to go into Jesus, can't remember even where I went.
What were you smoking, bud?
I'm laughing with you, Steve.
I'm trying to think. I was in San Jose, but
what the Switzerland to San Jose?
But it's not the San Jose in California. It's in Central America. But it was a deal to where everybody said, "You speak English like we learn it," And they said, "What is this? What kind of English do they speak from Georgia?" They said, we can't even understand them. It's like the people from New Jersey. You know, but
it's bad.
I said, yeah. I said, it's just dialects. I said, you get out west and down south and stuff like that, it can be a little bit different.
You want your taters fried or baked?
Yeah.
You guys, I got
Sorry,
some more house.
we gotta get.
Let me interject here. Top Rent says hello, obviously, and he says it's 32 degrees there. Wind feels like 23 degrees. Cold in Ogden, Utah. And I think the guy West, I think it might have been Montana Farmer. He said, just tried joining the chat, but the internet sucks and won't let me in. And then he said he tried low bandwidth but can't see anyone. Montana Farmer, just try turning your camera off and then just use the audio, and then I mean that'd be an improvement from being on the chat.
Yeah, he was in. I seen him in there.
Yeah, I saw him too. I didn't know that was Montana Farmer. So just try coming in again, but just turn off or keep your camera off, and then hopefully we can. If you turn your mic on, we can hear you, and we can at least converse that way.
We may have too many people in here. We could get Len to leave.
No, we've had more. We only have 2, 4, 6, 8. We only have 11 people in. We've had more than that.
Len's frozen up. I couldn't even get a grin out of him. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, my internet, I've been losing internet off and on.
Yeah.
And I got a new gateway today, so I was hoping that I'd have a better internet connection. I don't know if it's the inclement weather. It's actually raining out here and storming, coming down pretty bad. So that might be part of the problem. But hopefully Montana can try it again.
Are you on broadband, Charles? Or are you on line?
I think it's DSL. Digital subscriber line or VoIP, voice over internet provider, I think.
Okay, but it comes in on a wire, right?
Yes.
And the range.
It's not cable. It's just a regular wire. I forgot what kind of wire it is.
Oh, you get it's like from the phone company here. We have AT&T, and that comes in that DSL.
Talking about DSL?
Yeah.
I think so. If it's not DSL, it's VoIP.
No, it's DSL, the digital subscriber line.
Yeah, my rain is it's probably nothing compared to you guys, but it's raining out here pretty bad.
I can hear something in the background when you're talking. It sounds like it might be rain. Almost sounds like something hitting the windows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not supposed to rain in California. Don't you know that?
I know. It's things are changing.
Yeah. Here's somebody who says Denny. Is it? Oh,
yeah. Oh, Dennis.
Hey.
Dennis.
Hey.
Missing the fun again. Sorry I'm late.
Side eye. Good to have you. Good to have you. Uh-huh.
12 of us online.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Yeah.
I don't know what she puts in this stuff, but it makes me happy. Whee.
That's good.
Fun. You gotta have a little fun. Life's too short.
Yes, you gotta have some fun.
Yeah.
I this week I actually maybe last week I was watching a lot of Windy, not Windy, but
the more we get, the less I get.
I was watching a lot of the Sparky videos. Man, that plane is just so awesome.
Dog's barking.
Started doing the panel lines today, or I was watching them. You guys watching his videos?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to watch a few minutes, then everybody started coming in, so I had to get off. But it looks good. It looks real good. But it's a Sparky job.
Looks neat.
Yeah.
It's like Windy. It's like Windy. If it weren't spectacular, we'd wonder what they got.
Yeah. Yeah. You know how when you're working on planes, and it's like when you first did something years ago, you just would screw it up, and then as time goes on, craftsmanship seems to sneak up on you. and you do something, and you're just kind of amazed at how well that came out. Well, the impact that I'm going to use as a test bed, I actually I'm making an access panel to the flap horn from on top of the fuselage, and so I cut out a section about 2.5 inches long, and the plane's already painted. I mean, this is a complete plane that's I don't know how old the plane is, but I taped it up and I used a like a Zona saw blade without the other parts of the Zona saw blade to be real nice and thin, and I just did a beautiful. I just sawed it, and I was just when I got done, I looked at it, I go, man, that was fantastic. It's just amazing how that happens to you after a while,
Yeah, it sneaks up on you.
It does. It sneaks up on you, and I'm going to put in 4 screws. So I need to drill some holes and add some wood to put some aluminum tubing, and then have some blind nuts on the bottom, and so I can take it on and off. So I have access to the flap horn and both push rods, and that's kind of what I've been doing.
Yeah, Impact's a great airplane. Mine turned out too heavy, but it was a great airplane.
How much did yours weigh? This one weighs 77.9 ounces.
Holy shit!
Not near that. 63 or 64.
Yeah, I didn't build it.
That's not bad.
That's right. Back me up, man.
Yeah, that's not bad. 64 ounces is okay.
Yeah.
Those are 77.9.
77, Lon.
Who?
Sparky says lumber wagon.
77.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet he does.
Well, I thought it was heavy, but it did fly good. It does fly pretty good, even with a 40 in it. I'm putting the 46 in it now. We'll see what it does with that.
Yep.
88, that's too heavy.
88. I have never flown a plane that heavy.
My 90 ship. My 90 ship is 88. 88 ounces.
Wow.
Pulls like a 1975 station wagon.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I've been thinking about taking one of Brodak's.
Is that a Macintosh, John?
The Gala.
I've been thinking about taking one of Brodak's Strega wings and building a modified Strega to look more like the real airplane, turtle deck and the whole bit instead of just a bubble canopy.
Cool.
And putting a 4-stroke.
Go for it.
70. I think I will.
All right.
72 4-stroke. Just see what happens. I've got a 72.
That's a great idea.
Don't have any plans for right now, so I think I might try that. I'll tell you
That'd
what's
be
fun
awesome.
if anybody wants to do it. Years ago, somebody built Gid Atkinson built the Laser 200.
Yeah.
And if you like 4-strokes and you want an airplane that it absolutely looks and flies great in, put a 72 in a Gid Atkinson Laser just built straight by the plans. They fly great, they look great, and the sound coming out of that airplane, it just looks and sounds real.
Amazing.
It was really neat.
I'll bet.
That was one I'd do. What? It looked.
Is that a Michigan
great.
apple, John?
What? No.
No.
Washington.
Oh, okay.
California, Washington. Okay, that'll work.
Yeah, I live in.
Now I
Apple
got to go get one.
I live in apple country. Where my house
Now
is.
I need an.
Here at one time, they had apple trees. They're still across the street, but
yeah,
we have right up here by me. We have Peach Ridge and Fruit Ridge avenues. But yeah, for some reason, it's at a certain latitude or temperature or whatever where they plant all the apple trees.
Yeah, it makes them sweeter.
I ain't had an apple in 5 years.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
You put the doctor away that long?
No, I ain't got no teeth.
Okay.
So I ain't fudge.
I tell you what.
It's soft. I can chew it.
I tell you what. If you want a good apple, try one of these new. Well, it's new to me.
You guys hear me now?
Yes, I hear somebody.
Gotcha.
All right.
Is that you, Montana Farmer?
Yes, sir.
Oh, fantastic.
It says West Sibley.
Yeah. That Montana Farmer name is just my YouTube channel name. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, welcome in,
Been
Wes.
like that for a while.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, my pleasure.
Hey there. Awesome.
So you
Long time
actually
I've been
live
up
in
there.
Montana?
Oh yeah.
Big
You
stuff.
got some cold. You got a little bit of cold weather right now too, then, don't you?
Yeah, it's
All right,
about
Lynn.
25 right now, I'd say. Last time I checked.
37
We've had-
here and clear.
Had good weather for a while. About 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was 22.
We gotta do something.
Look at
with
that.
Lynn.
Lynn's got
We
an
gotta-
apple.
We gotta do something. We gotta do something with Lynn. He sent all his dang cold weather down here. We were at 57
I know you
last
need
week,
to get one, Steve.
and then
I
this
need to
week
go
we
get
got
one.
all that Canadian cold crap.
But Lynn, you're the apple of my eye.
Oh, it's getting ready to get deep in here.
Yeah.
That should cost you $2 a jar, I tell you.
Oh,
Keep it up, you'll have an apple in your eye.
bad now. Oh,
Oh, Lord, you got it too many.
Denny,
Let's let Wes talk about his
Yeah.
modeling.
Great idea. Go ahead, Wes.
let the rip.
Well, I started flying RC when I was about 8 years old,
All right.
and flew for quite a few years, and then kind of got out of it because of school and stuff, and then went to college after high school and just kind of forgot about it. And now I'm starting to get back into it a little bit when I get my free time. And yeah, I'm interested in control line now too.
Oh, great.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, come to the dark side. We've got cookies.
Well, I watched the other night. I watched Paul Walker fly that B-17 back in 2000.
Yeah.
Man, that was awesome.
Yeah, that really
You should have
was.
been there
I
in person.
seen
That
that
was the most
video.
impressive plane I've ever
That was
seen.
pretty cool.
oh my goodness. My dog likes apples.
Well, that's good.
I don't know. He'll sit there and bug me now till the thing's gone. I just gave him one figuring now this will teach him he won't like it.
You guys, only Phil probably will know what this is, but my old hunting dog would go pick okra right off the damn plant.
Yeah.
I'd eat all my damn okra if I didn't watch that dog.
Well, see, he should have been my dog because he could have had it all.
You don't like okra?
Did it get sick?
Pro Winfrey.
I can't cook the darn stuff. It always ends up. If you can find somebody to cook it where it's still got some texture to it, but
Yeah.
every time I cook it, it ends up being all limp and throw it in the trash.
You don't fry it?
No, the best I've ever had was grilled. My youngest daughter can grill it, and it's real good. But I never tried frying it. I
You gotta
figured
try
it'd
to
turn
fry
limp.
it. Cut it up, and you gotta use
Yep.
self-rising flour like you make biscuits out of. Cover it, roll it in self-rising flour, and fry it, deep fry it. You'll love it.
All right.
Deep fried. Okay, I'll try
Never heard
that.
of that.
You guys
Okay,
get back
all
to
right.
model airplanes.
Yeah.
Hey, Wes,
you know what?
are you building anything right now?
No, I'm not, but I'm gonna refinish that quarter scale cub here.
All right.
Also,
Wow.
yeah.
So do you have any control line planes you're interested in?
No, I don't. Not
Okay.
yet.
Not yet? All right.
Hey, join the rest of
I'm
us.
still learning. So.
Either we have too many or not enough.
Yeah, come over to the dark side, fly control line with the rest of us. It's a lot of fun.
Sure looks like fun.
Did you
It is. Wes, one thing about control line, now I'm not into RC at all. I've flown RC about that long. And so I don't know much about RC, but the one thing I think with confidently I can say, the one big difference is that you actually feel the plane. And it's just an unbelievable connection. And that's kind of why I enjoy it so much and immensely. If you go into YouTube Stunt Hangar, One of the featured channels is my channel, Flying Control Line Stunt, and I have about 9 videos of me flying. And then
Okay.
Tryan, his channel. What's your channel, Tryan?
Evolution gliders.
If you go there, Wes, you can see some videos of Tryan flying control line.
Yeah.
Philip, do you have any videos, or Peter, or anybody else have any videos of them flying control line?
Crashing.
No, the last time I tried to upload a video, it
Well, that's a flying video.
kicked me out.
My YouTube channel is Tom Ramble, Tom Space Ramble.
Did you get that, Wes?
Yep.
All right, yeah. So
No, he's
yeah, check them out. If you have any questions, they'd be happy to help you. And even if you don't do our control line, that's fine too. I mean, there's room for all of us here on this platform.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we all finish the same
I
way
sure
and build the
appreciate
same
the
way, so
help.
it all helps everybody.
Denny,
Do you have a camera, Wes, on your computer?
I'm on my phone right now. I
Oh,
don't
you're
have
on
a
the phone.
webcam on my computer.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I thought it
RC
would
control
work
line,
better
they
on
all
my
hit
phone,
the
but
ground the same. You know, it don't matter.
Yeah. Well, you know, I just
it
thought
don't
of
work on my
something.
phone apparently.
Now we got a man that can draw the plans. We got a man that can cut the parts out for us on a laser cutter. we got a man that can mold the wheel pants and all for us. Hey guys, we're set.
Yeah. We got
We
a guy.
just
Well,
need somebody
besides molding wheel pants, I mean, they mold top blocks. I mean, you know, and bottom blocks and cowls and everything else.
Well, I can do some of that. I just molded up some for a friend that he come picked them up, and he said, "I thought you was just going to make the mold box." I said, "What the heck fun's that? I got to see if it works."
Now we just got to get somebody on the channel that builds and finishes, and we'll be all set.
I tell you what, I'll build them if somebody will finish
Yeah,
and paint the darn
a
thing.
group effort.
I've told
Yeah.
2 of the guys locally that
Assembly line.
if you'll cover it and paint it, I'll build them, and we'll have some heckasious nice airplanes. I ain't got anybody take me up on it yet.
building is half the fun of it, I think.
Well, I think it is too, but I hate to paint.
Building's 99% of the fun, and then 99% of the bullshit is the painting and finishing of it.
Well, of all of them, I think learning how to build them straight and true, build them so that they'll trim up properly, is the key to precision aerobatics.
I think you're right, but the problem is if you put the paint on too
Position
fast,
of working
they'll
on
warp.
trimming them.
Yeah.
What was that, Len?
I'll take the job of trimming them.
Yeah. Printing them?
Yeah, I like that too. I'm with you on that, Lynn. I like trimming planes.
Trimming them.
Oh.
Yeah, I like trimming
I like trimming
airplanes. I like trimming them out. I like working on trimming. Big
Yeah,
time.
that's very satisfying.
Well,
I don't know if I gave a shout out to
Anything I
Greg
can do to
Nielsen.
anything I can. Go ahead.
I just want to say, Greg Nielsen,
Anything
he says that here I am from Walla Walla, Washington. Now I'm in Florida. Washington has the best apples. And then Greg Nielsen says that it's 60 degrees here in Florida. And then Jeff Riley says it's 50 degrees here in SoCal and raining too hard to be in the shop. And that's what's going on our chat.
Holy shit. But you guys only get rain there, what, 1 day a year? So you can't complain too much about that.
No, I can't complain. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, he's going to see something he's not used to seeing here in a few weeks.
What, mudslides?
Yeah, green. They don't call it the Golden State for nothing. Last time I was in California, when I was flying in, I looked down and everything's brown. My gosh, no wonder they call it the Golden State.
Yeah, everything is
brown.
Fire.
Except along the expressways. This is the only state I was in that waters the grass along the expressways.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. North Carolina, we're having a hard time keeping them mowed, and in California, they're watered.
That's ridiculous.
What I thought
Hey, Dennis.
was when I was in Wyoming, in between the in between the lanes on the expressway, they were actually haying in between.
Yeah.
And I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Hell, here in Michigan, we pay people to cut all that damn grass along the expressways, and there, the damn farmers cut it for free and then feed it to their livestock. And I'm like, that's about the smartest thing I ever seen.
Here in parts of Utah, we've got guys actually came over from Africa. They're goat herders, and the state hires them to bring their goats out, and they'll work up and down certain stretches of the highway, keep it all cleaned out. Say what?
Yeah, eating kudzu.
Yeah.
Goats, the only thing will eat kudzu.
They need to bring it here to Tennessee, man. We got it everywhere.
Kudzu?
Yeah.
I don't know who brought that crap over here, but man, they really screwed up.
It's more toward East Tennessee, but there is few places here in Middle Tennessee that have it. And the stuff grows like, I don't know, 3 feet a week.
No, 12 inches a day.
Yeah.
A day.
A day.
I know it grows fast.
Yeah,
That's like water hyacinths there in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Every lake is just packed with water hyacinths. The rivers and
yeah, that was another thing everybody thought would be just a wonderful thing for the fish. Except it about chokes them out. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing it's good for is the manatees. Manatees love it, and their population's coming back.
Yeah, finally.
I didn't think it was
Anybody work on any airplanes, or I know no one's flying because of the weather. Anybody work on any airplanes?
Working on it.
I've been working on plans, airplane plans.
I'm working on a humbug, but I've got to find a set of I've got to find a set of plans to the thing. I loaned my plans to somebody and they lost them. And I've got to.
I saw the plans on Hip Pocket for the one that Barron flew at the VSC. That
Outer Zone has it too.
No, well, Outer Zone, the one Outer Zone has is the original. That's from Wild Bill, and that's not the same one he flew. If it's round from the trailing edge to the tail, it's the original one, and it's a molded cone-looking thing. It's not really round, but it looks it. But the one Barron flew is kind of square back there, squarish.
Well, I believe the one that I saw on Hip Pocket was the one Barron flew.
Well, I'll have to look. Hip Pocket. I never heard of that one. Is that all you look at? Just Hip Pocket plans?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a forum. They got a plan site. They got things like on the plan site. They also have things like the old profile publications, those full size reference books.
Neat.
And they have like all 240 issues or whatever it was. They got them all. You can download them. They got a lot of really obscure things. They got new stuff. People post new stuff all the time too. So yeah.
Oh, well, thank you guys. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, just one more site.
That's cool. That is very cool. I looked on the English one. I can't. Some days I remember everything. Some days I can't remember.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember. I think Hip Pocket is based in Canada too. I'm not absolutely certain about that. So, but
they're not based here in the States, that's for sure.
Yeah, I looked at the one that's based
hip replacement.
Outer Zone. That's where I looked, and that one had the wrong one. But I got the plane built. I got the nose gear, landing gear bent before I loaned him the plan. So I've got that one bent, and I got all that stuff done. I'm painting it now, and as soon as I finish painting the thing, then I'm going to have to bend up the other two landing gear and try to finish it. But I think what I'm going to do is just bend them 1/8 of an inch longer than the nose gear, or just bend them the same length as the nose gear and put one size larger tires on it and just see what happens.
Yep.
Everybody says put the same size on it, but I've had better luck when the mains are a little bit longer. And when it settles down, it stays planted.
I like the gear to be the same, nose and main. And if I want to keep it planted, I just feed it a little bit of down, not much, just a touch.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is when it comes to if you got it tilted down like that, you take off on your takeoff roll, you have to bring it up, and you usually pop it up in the air instead of rising easy, because as you overcome that, all of a sudden you get up there, and then you got positive, and up you go.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was always afraid of. The Shark doesn't do that. I've actually built the humbler version, but everybody that looks at it says that's the Shark 45. And no, it's actually the Humbler. It's the one before the Shark, but it's off the original plans. But it's kind of like that until you get used to it, and then once you get used to it, you just flying at level. And when you get to a quarter lap, you just raise your hand about 4 inches, and it just rotates and just straightens out, and then you just bring it up normal, fly it up, take a lap to bring it up to 4 feet. And I mean, if you can't fly that plane off the ground and get a good takeoff, you're doing something bad wrong.
Right.
That's just a really nice airplane to fly. Charlie Reeves had one down Charlotte with a Air Products 50 in it, and that was one impressive airplane to watch take off. And the landings were pretty good too. And Charlie is no slouch as a flyer, so
I think when you have good takeoffs, you have good landings. I mean, they're kind of related. If you have the landing gear set up right, the plane's easy to take off and it's easy to land. If it's not set right, then you have to really fly it up and fly it down, and you have to have it the right speed and everything. It has to be just right to do a perfect landing or a perfect takeoff.
Well, think about it too, though. Say if you got 2 degrees negative incidence as you're sitting on the gear, you start to rotate it, you're getting more and more pressure on that wing to hold that nose down. So now you got to give it a lot more control to get it to rotate. So you get to where it's neutral, and now all of a sudden you get a little positive, and it just pops up because you already got too much control because you're trying to get that nose gear up.
That makes sense. I'll try same size tires on the mains and see what happens.
Well, I usually go like 2 inch on mine, 2.5 inch on the rears, and I'll set the gear length up so that it's sitting pretty much level. with a 1/4 inch less diameter on the nose gear.
I built the airplane last year. It's the first trike I've built in 100 years, I think. And after reading some stuff, I actually built it with a real strong positive incidence. Nose up like a 1/2 inch shorter on the main gear, or what it should have been. All right.
Wow.
And that takes off and lands absolutely easy. No tendency to pop off at all. Flies off the ground when it's ready. And when you land it, you can actually slow it down a little bit. Frankly, I landed like a tail dragger. Just set it on the mains first, and it's easy to do. So
you want? I think I'll just make all 3 of them level, and then I can play with different size tires and just experiment with all of that.
Yeah,
do that.
Well, if you have removable landing gear, it's really, really easy too. Just make a set.
Oh, it is.
Make a set. In fact, I would recommend the nose high on the grass, because it seems very, very forgiving on grass. The grass field I fly on, it seemed to take off a lot easier, and it was a lot easier. And on grass, especially, I like slowing the airplane down. I don't like landing fast, on a grass field.
Yeah. Right.
And doing that, it seemed to set down soft. I was able to slow it down real good, and it seemed to set in really soft that way, without the nose slamming down or anything like that. So I don't know. It was just going back. I haven't flown a trike here since the 70s, and I really enjoyed it enough to where I'm kind of wondering why the heck I haven't been doing it all along. So I think I'm
The thing with Trike Garrett, Denny, as you probably well know, Trike Garrett, it's hard to get bad takeoffs and landings. You gotta kind of work at it to screw them up if you got them set up right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what Bart likes?
I was getting a bump in my takeoff and landing scores from what I had before, and it's like an extra 5 or 6 points of flight or whatever is nothing to shy away from. I mean,
I've lost a lot of contests by 2 points.
That's it. That's it. You see people complain about a half a point and they lost on appearance points or something like that. And, there's bigger things than that. So I don't know. I can't, in my mind, at least right now, I've got myself convinced I can't afford to. I don't have any extra points to give. Let's put it that way. So
I don't really,
I don't want to. I don't want to give. I don't mind being beat, but I hate giving points away.
Yeah, that's it.
Actually, they started going to tail draggers when they started flying pipes. That was the same thing with RC. Everything was a trike gear until they went with pipes. Now the pipe isn't, comes through where the wheel would be.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can still get around that.
Yeah, you can still get around that.
Yeah, it's makes it. They don't land as well. It's not as strong.
It's just hard drilling that hole through that pipe.
Yeah.
I run the All-American Eagle is a trike gear, and I run a Stalker 40 in that, which is a rear exhaust, and it's no problem at all.
I just ran the landing gear up one side and ran it into the motor mount, and then ran it down the side of the fuselage, and then just before it came out of the cowl, ducked it over, and then ran it straight down. And it looks, for all appearance, it's a standard landing gear, but it's actually mounted to the inboard motor mount.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did something like that when I made the Swinger. Only I had like a fork, so I had a double wire coming down, pretty much like you described, down either fuselage side, and then it come to the middle, joined, came down, and then around the wheel. And it's kind of a realistic looking nose gear that way. The neat thing about it, I was also able to get it very, very far forward, which is cool. I think trikes look good when the wheel's like right up front, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Phil.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, I looked at this humbug on Hip Pocket and compared it to the one that's on Outer Zone, and they're identical.
Oh.
Okay.
Says, of course, this one right here says designed by
Wild Bill
7Q.
Band.
It says 7Q and J. Something, and then that's the one on Outer, and then the one on
probably who uploaded
it was Robert Barron.
Yeah. Bob Barron, yeah.
A lot of the guns are they're under the name of the person who uploaded them. If you look at the plan, look at the title block, you see, the plan is correct and everything like that. But whoever uploaded it takes, seems to be assigned the responsibility for it.
Bob Hunt has the planes for the humbug.
Yeah.
I think what I'm gonna do after talking to y'all tonight, I think I'm gonna chop the 2 wingtips up, get the plane level, and measure down from the nose gear down to the table. And then just measure and see how long I got to make the mains to make everything equal. Then I can change tire sizes pretty easy and play with it.
Yeah.
Because the plane was designed. Bob had an OS 32 in his, and I had Randy build one for me exactly like Bob's. And I've got that downstairs. But after looking at the plane and checking the weight of the plane, it's very, very light. I can't remember what it weighs right now, but it's very light. I think
This one right here by Barron says it's got a Vico 19 in it with 2-inch wheels.
Originally,
That's the original.
Yeah.
That's the original.
Yeah.
Well, when I saw him fly it, he had a Royal 28 in
Yeah, he had a Royal 28 in it, and he put when he published it, when it was published in the magazine, they showed an OS 32. It was a helicopter motor. He then put the Royal in it because Tom Dixon was into Royals, and he was working with Tom Dixon a lot right then. And I'm gonna do it now. And anyway, he put the 28 in it, and the 28 is as powerful as you need in that airplane. The 32
What's the
is one of
wingspan
the
on
commons.
that?
Well, what was neat
48, I
about
think.
the 28 and the 32 is that physically they are almost the identical size to the Vico 19 ball bearing. I mean,
Yeah.
they're darn similar. They got,
Yeah.
and then later on, I mean, you could have put something like an Evo 36 in it. It's in the same family, or I guess the
Yeah.
Aero Tiger 30,
Same thing.
is in the same
Same thing.
same
I've got
basic,
OS.
and same basic case. So.
Yeah, this
I've
one's
got an
showing a
OS 20.
54-inch wingspan.
I have an OS 25 SF going in mine. Yeah, SF going in mine, and front snurl. It's ball bearing, fits in the same holes. It all fits in OS 32, Air Tiger 36.
The neat thing about it is that it flew well with the Vico 19. Any of the other engines you mentioned are a solid power up. All right.
Yeah, it would be, but you just don't need that much more.
Yeah,
That's the
and
thing.
the other thing is that the Vico the formula, if you will, was the Vico 19 running fast with a flat pitch prop, and that's right in the wheelhouse for a Snurlport 28 or 32 or 36 or any of those, and that's just what they do best. So, yeah.
Wait a minute. What was that, Pete? No, it's Trans. Tran, what's that on the wall? Those engines. What's that on the wall? To your straight in front of you. Well, not straight in front of you, but to your left. What is that airplane on the wall? Yeah.
It's an SV11.
Good looking plane.
The one hanging up in the back?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I remember you flying that. Okay. Good looking plane.
Yeah, nice looking.
You always have neat colors. You use neat color schemes.
Actually, this is Mark McKinney's plane. He let me have it so I can fly it, so I have something to fly and have some fun with it.
So it was Mark that was flying it then. I remember it being at the field.
How is Mark Miller?
Mark McKinney? Yeah, he's doing fine.
Yeah.
Good.
I was going to say, it looks like he molded that one out of balsa fibers.
Funny.
Some of those guys can build, buddy, I'm telling you. I tell you, there used to be a Greek dude that came to Atlanta a lot. I can't remember his name, but he'd come every year and he'd fly and he'd try to buy somebody's airplane. Whoever's plane was looking good and flying good. He didn't have any problem with money. And he bought one of Bill Rich's airplanes and had his AMA numbers right over top of Bill Rich's. He wasn't trying to hide nothing. He just come out and fly. And he was getting really good, and then he just disappeared. I don't know what happened to him.
Ran out of money.
I doubt that. I doubt that. I don't know what the dude did, but man. We got a guy in High Point that's a Cuban expatriate. And he came up here when they were coming to get his family. He put them all on a fishing boat.
Oh, my God, we lost him.
Yeah. Yeah, censorship. Can't talk about the Cubans.
Yeah, the boat's still there in the sea, waiting for him to finish the story. So.
Battery died on
I have a comment from Greg Nielsen. Remember when I said if you have good takeoffs, you have good landings? Well, Greg Nielsen, he says, not all my nice takeoffs have ended with good landings.
Well, there's the other thing. Takeoffs are optional. Landings are mandatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Denny, it was your dad, I think, told me, he said that you need to practice takeoffs and landings because every flight you do, you got to do those.
Yeah.
All the rest of them are optional. You learn how to do 30 to 40 point takeoffs and landings. Your score will go up 15 to 20 points.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm working on my landing gear because I have my red Strega. If I don't time it perfectly, if I come in
Just
too
close
hot,
your eyes when
it's a
you
problem.
land.
If I come in too slow, it's a problem. It's just a really, I mean, it has a defined envelope for it to land nice. And I think it's just because the landing gear is not right.
How
Well,
far? How's your landing gear geometry set up? You know, the the guys that are doing the racing, team racing, they have got their gear set up to where they can come in just as hot and it hits the ground. It just like it almost sticks to the ground, and
Right.
and that's because their gear where the tire touches the road in relationship to the center of gravity. I usually go in the center of the wing, where the CG is 14 degrees. If you want to go any further behind it, you can go up to 6 degrees in front of it and still get good landing. But I've had them at 18 and on a stunt ship, and you bring them in, you just bring them in, you'd hit the ground, and they just lock onto the ground. Tail up, they roll out on the mains, no
Right.
problem.
well, the other thing you can do too is that you can make your tires roll a little harder, so they don't free spin. And when
Okay.
you land, that drag will suck the nose down.
Okay. See, the problem I have for the most part is when I want to make landing gear, I go to my local hobby store and I buy all the 1/8 inch wire they have in stock, and I might get two that match. And so I'm usually married to whatever I have because it was such a problem to make them in the first place. And that's
Well,
been
as
my
heavy as your
issue.
plane, as heavy as your planes are, that plane is, Charles. You may want to consider going up to 5/32.
Yeah, the red Strega is 5/32, as a matter of fact.
I think I am, of course, it's one of those areas. I listen to a different drummer in a lot of things. I've never bought into the 15-degree landing gear because I've never had an airplane set up like a Rapey Bearcat or Sea Fury or something like that to where a main wheel landing was even important. I've been more in tune with, call it the Bob Giesky school, with long tail wheels and 3-point landings. I can make 3-point landings all day long, and I will make. And the guys making their main gear landings, they'll make 1 out of 10 that looks right, and I can do 10 out of 10. I don't know. And takeoffs are no issue anyway. It doesn't matter. I mean, it actually proved that to myself with old timers and stuff. You have a lot of those have the wheels like right under the motor and everything like that, and they take off fine. You can roll, you can rotate them and take them off the wheels and everything like that. Even on landings, if you're careful with an old timer, you can basically stall it into a 3-point landing, and that's the only way you're going to get a dependable landing with an old timer.
Yep.
So I don't know, John. I hear you, and I believe the 15 degrees is probably an optimum if you're going to shoot for wheel landings. But if you're going to be flying on grass or flying on uneven concrete or something like that, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to train to fly, a 50-degree or 50-mile-an-hour landing where you can really show it off. So I'm
Well,
more a fan of slowing it down and letting the 3-point on in, and with as little energy as possible, because the energy creates bounces. So
one of the problems that I've run into with 3-points, and I can do them too. I like to set mine up at 18 degrees because it gives me a little better cushion on grass. But when I say bring them in hot, I don't mean bring them in 50 miles an hour, but between 35 and 40 miles an hour, it is impressive. The problem I've had with 3-points is I'll come around trying to bleed off speed to get in there, and I'll wind up coming into the wind, and then I'll balloon. And that is a problem. When I've got my gear set up for my Legacy is set up with 18 degrees, 17 or 18 degrees, and it does beautiful landings on a hard surface. On grass, with that gear, it could be on the nose. So I made another set of gear, a little longer and a little further forward.
Yeah.
It probably 20, 24 degrees forward. Works great on grass. But you know, what you're saying is absolutely true for a lot of people, and what I'm saying is absolutely true for the rest of us.
I do a good 1-point landing.
Taking it to its illogical conclusion here, I'm doing an electric conversion right now for the Brodak Bearcat, which is the Pat Johnson designed, very, very pretty airplane. I think it's actually a little smaller than Rabe's original Bearcat. It's 570 squares, something like that. Really like a big Nobler. And I may have the only Bearcat in the country with a 6-inch long tail wheel wire. So I'm going to make that sucker land. Now, realistically, it's I think I really liked what Rabe did, and it looked good. But when you have a modern airplane and it's sitting at like a 1 or 2 degree angle of attack, and you're trying to make a main gear landing, it's like you're crazy, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Rabe had his airplane sitting like that.
Right.
And, and then when they rotated up, it was impressive as heck. And then he'd make a main gear takeoff, and of course, reversing the thing on the other side.
Oh,
Just set it right down on the main. It would roll out a little bit, and then settle on the tail. Well, and when you set a lot of the modern airplanes are set up where they'll be rolling along on the mains and the tail wheels a ½ inch off the ground. That's like, come on.
Well, and that's
insane.
And we did that. We did that with the long tail wheels for what reason? It was to set the airplane up with the minimum amount of a positive angle of attack for your takeoff.
Mm-hmm.
And it did help in making a 3-point. You're on the gear faster than if you 3-pointed it with a short tail wheel on it. So anyway. Did you get to see me fly my Electra, my red and white Electra? Were you at that VSC that I was?
I haven't been to. I've never been to a VSC. So.
Oh, it was probably your brother and your nephew that.
Yeah, we get mistaken for each other. That's why we wear name tags at the family Christmas party, so we know who we are. So.
Night, Eddie.
See you, Eddie.
Night, Eddie. Take
Well,
care, buddy.
that airplane, Dick Williams, the designer that set that gear up at 18 degrees. That was the first time I ran.
That was on the Electra?
It was on the Electra. And
that's an airplane. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And he had a relatively short tail wheel on it. Not,
Mm-hmm.
It was somewhere between what was in vogue and what wasn't. And that thing did beautiful wheel landings. I could roll it right around. Wanted to stop, I'd put a little side pressure on it to get put some. I don't like making the wheels too stiff, because then you might roll up onto your nose, and scrape it onto the pavement. But you could pull on it sideways, put a little pressure on the gear that way to slow it down. Mm-hmm. And I remember being judged, Ted Fancher was one of the judges, and every flight I made, the first couple of times by accident, but then I started seeing Ted's reaction. I stopped that airplane right in front of Ted. Mm-hmm. Every flight I made, stopped it right in front of Ted. and it did impress him. He came to talk to me about that later.
I'm out of here, guys. I got a
shed. Steve, you take care,
buddy. Shed coming in the morning, so I got to get ready for that.
Take care, Steve. Coming in.
See you Friday, Steve.
Yeah. See you Friday.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, we're talking about landing gear. Looks to me like Peter's got a poster child there for landing gear discussion. What you got, Peter?
I was going to mention we were talking about trike landing gear and where to put.
Yeah.
We were discussing that trike landing gear rather went away when tuned pipes came out, and there's one good example of John and George Delaney's design of the Pathfinder LE. As you can see, I do have right now a pipe motor in there with the header.
Right.
And what they did is they took the landing gear, and the landing gear actually is part of the lower cowling assembly, so it doesn't come down to a firewall or anything in the back of the end of the motor compartment. So when you turn around and you drop it on there, I can just turn around and drop the cowling on, and I have complete clearance for the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
The pipe and the manifold all the way back. Now, I don't know how strong, what the strength trade-off is doing it this way, but that's one solution of how you get trike landing gear on an airplane that's got a tune
I
pipe.
think it's going to be fine. Obviously, you need to have good cowl hold down system, and not just a not just jury rig something up, but properly engineered. That's going to be a heck of a setup.
Well,
And John, you've used that for a long time, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I've got. I use preferably 2 pins at the front on the ring on the front, and then and the 1/8" dowels plug into that. And then I use one screw, one 440 in the back, hold it. Gordon,
I went a little bit of a different route. As you can see, I have plywood tabs, two in the back and 2 further forward, and those go into slots that I have cut here, and I'll back those up with plywood and use just the same deal, but just a little different.
That should work.
That looks like it'll work just fine.
I'll give you an example on my Pathfinder 40, which was the first full body Pathfinder. Designed that, drew that up in 64, I believe. No, 63. And I flew it at the not 60, 93. Flew it that at the 95 Nats at Tri-Cities in Washington State. And I would have made the cut, probably been in the top 10 or 5 or 10 at the cut for the but coming around on the landing, we're landing in an area where they tied down the full scale aviation, and they had these little pockets with crosses steel rod in there to tie down the airplanes. And I happened to come land, and I landed. I was rolling out on a trike gear, and I hit one of those pockets with that wire, that round. Anyway, it popped me up in the air about 7 or 8 feet. I hit the nose wheel, popped it up into the air, came down on the nose wheel, bounced, and rolled a little bit and stopped. The nose gear was mounted into the cowl, just like that one was. It bent the nose gear back. Didn't break anything. All I did is I took it and straightened it out. Now, if I'd have known what I know now, having hit that, I would have. They gave me 10 points for the landing, minimum points. But knowing what I know now, if I would have gone and complained because I read in the rules to say, if you hit something that's beyond your control, then you get your landing scored to the point where you hit it.
Now, if they didn't automatically do that for you, shame on them. They should have known better. But yeah, you're right.
It's obviously that you hit something. I think those judges are just either bad judges or just, something is wrong about that.
Well, yeah, see, because if I got 10 points, if I'd have got 20 points for the landing, it would have put me way up in there. I would have probably been between number 5 and number 10. Anyway, but that was then, and this is now.
Well,
but the point
in vernacular, I would say you got jobbed. All right.
Yeah. Well, the point I'm making though is that airplane sitting in the other room there
Yeah.
still has the same gear, the same cowl, you know, that and no damage to it. So it is a strong way of doing it.
I have some issues with my landings. When I'm coming for a landing, I think I'm coming a little bit hot, and
A lot of people do
you
that.
know, I'm thinking about, you know, so if I come with a little bit more angle of attack, then I'm touching the tail wheel first, and then comes on the mains, right? As it
Yeah,
settles
basically
in.
a 3-point or even tail wheel first.
Is
Tail
that
wheel touches first, the airplane will not bounce. Simple as that.
yeah? But is that correct? Because they want to see the mains touching first, right?
No,
It doesn't. I don't know. It's supposed to take off and or land in a realistic manner. And 3-point landings are perfectly legal in full-size aircraft. You know, especially things like racing planes and things like that with oversized props and stuff. They don't 3-point them. They destroy the prop. And
well, that
you
also
know.
shortens your landing run in full scale too to 3.0.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I don't know. I think again, I think it's all a matter of you still have to do everything else right getting into it, and I have been training myself to fly my landings slower and slower all the time because I found that if if I can if I can take if I can take the speed out of it, it takes all the energy out, and there's nothing left to bounce or anything like that,
Exactly.
and
Yep.
it sets down.
You
If
know
you
what,
land
Mark?
down fast and
I
hot,
agree.
if you hit a pebble,
One
on a
misstep,
PV, it looks like a
over.
major crash and everything like that. And so I don't know.
And, it,
mhm.
and it's
Guys,
You know what,
doubly
Mark?
that
full
important
scale
if you're
airplane.
landing on grass.
You know what,
Yeah,
Mark?
you land
I
on
don't
grass.
care.
It's all that much worse because even a perfect grass field has got it's got clumps of grass in it. I mean,
Bumps
Yeah.
there's
I
bumps
love
of
grass
dirt all over.
landings. Are so easy. They stop me quickly.
Not if it's coming in fast, they aren't.
yeah.
If you're
Um,
coming
How
in
do you
hot on grass, it almost always bounces.
mhm.
how do
You
you
know what
land a
Bart
full scale
Kopinski
airplane
likes
up?
to do with the track gear? Bart likes to bring it in and he'll scrub off speed like that, give him more and more positive and land on the mains. And
Yeah.
then he'll roll around the circle holding the nose wheel off until just before he stops. And
Yeah,
then he'll set the door. That's called finessing. That's
yeah.
showboating, showmanship. You know,
I can flare my plane when I come for a landing. I can flare my plane to about this angle easily, and it was still kind of
Yeah.
like. But if I do this, the tail comes in first, and then the middle.
Bang. Yeah.
All right. If you're worried about that, and frankly, this would be an easy fix for you. It's shorten the tail wheel wire.
yep.
It's pretty darn short right now. Like I need a longer main landing gear. That's for sure.
Well, one way or the other, but set it up with a little more angle of attack, and then
Uh
it'll
huh.
be a little less obvious. So, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. I did it on the
Guys, how
nets this year. I landed. I was
Mhm.
tracking on the ground. So and I came into the wind, right, and the wind picked it up and it went whoop. I was like, son of
Yeah,
a.
I am trying to land. Uh, John mentioned about coming around into the wind, and yeah, that can be a problem. I do try to land with the. I try to set up with the landing basically, in front of the judges. But when it comes that next quarter circle and the wind is blowing on the tail,
Mhm.
airspeed goes away, and it helps the airplane settle right in. And by the time it
Ah,
rolls around into the wind, it's burned off all its airspeed, and it's not going to balloon on you. So,
so it's just fine to land it like as it comes into the wind and touch down, roll in front of the judges and go around.
well, I
No
try
big
to
deal, right?
touch down in front of the judge, and then roll, and then
Hmm.
or actually pass by low in front of the judge. But I try to touch down with the wind blowing on the tail of the airplane,
Uh huh.
because that's blowing the lift away. Is you can set up with a certain angle of attack, and as you come around, the wind blows on the airplane, and it just stops flying. Basically, it settles into the ground. So,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah,
It stops flying.
yeah.
Yeah, the
so
worst situation is
It
trying to get
settles
it
in.
close to the ground right as it's coming into the wind. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's my biggest issue.
that's a
Flying right
big
now.
issue.
It's
It's a very
when I
big
land
issue.
when I land, the plane is kind of clean, aerodynamic, and it's
Yes.
hard to bleed off the speed, especially
Hmm.
in a
Yeah.
wing.
Yeah.
And
You
and
need to you need to build in some air brakes, Trad.
yeah,
Have them automatically deploy.
I should do that. I was even thinking about it, or I was thinking about putting some wheel brakes. So as soon as I'm touching down on the ground, it just hits the brakes and slows it down real fast.
Well, instead of a brake on a prop brake to stop the prop, see if it'll go in reverse pitch for you or something like that, or spin it up backwards.
No, I
You
said
guys
wheel
should be able to do that
brakes.
electric. You should be able to do that.
I said wheel brakes, brakes on the wheels.
Yeah,
Yeah, he knew. So, Dennis, when you're flying and you're coming in, you're landing, are you watching the tail wheel, or are you watching the main gears to see how close you are to the surface?
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually trying to align the airplane to a level attitude with the ground, which will be nose high. I'm trying to set the wheels down together. So I'm not watching the nose, I'm watching the mains and the tail wheel. All right.
Okay.
And I'm trying to make sure that I'm nose high with low energy. And like is describing, I actually will strive to get that tail wheel down. And it's not one other thing you can do if you're worried about that is try to make the tail wheel kind of low and horizontal in such a way so that if it touches, it doesn't slam the nose down. It'll kind of flex a little bit.
Yeah.
Give it kind of a soft touch, and then as it arrives, it'll settle in. Charles, did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
That's kind of what I have. I mean, I can easily do it just as I'm coming for landing, just touch with the tail wheel and I hold that tail wheel on the ground, and as the mains as well. But I think per rule books they say they should be the mains or either a 2-point or a 3-point landing, but this would be a 1-point landing, right? And transitioning to a 3.
I would be more inclined to touch the tail wheel first than the mains first. All right. I'm trying to touch all three, but if it touches the tail wheel, it's usually so close to being a 3-point that nobody notices. Other thing you can do is that you notice I've seen some designs published where the tail wheel wire comes down at an angle like almost vertical.
Oh,
and
no, you don't want that.
If you try to slope it back more, or slope it back, plus maybe put a horizontal bend in it, so the wheel
That's what Wendy used to do.
So far from here as you can get, and that softens the wheel so you don't get that slam into the ground. So
That's what I was going to say. Angle the wheel back a little bit.
Yeah. A lot of
then that length acts as a spring and absorbs it instead of dead banging it.
Yeah.
So
when you land a real airplane, you don't come in and fly it. You come in and you get close and you stall it. I don't think I've ever touched down that I didn't hear the stall warning buzzer come on before I touched down, and you try to hold it there and let it float. The plane just quits flying and it settles down on its own. You land a model the same way.
You're in the ground effect.
Down, you're going to bounce.
You're in the ground effect when you're coming in for a landing, and you've got, if your stall warning isn't going off, you're going to need the whole runway to land.
That's the truth. You better learn to pull a little bit up.
But you see what I have now?
The ground effect's about half the wingspan.
We can't see it, Trey, and just seeing the side of it. We're seeing the top part of it, barely.
Oh, I see the tail wheel. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice and soft
that
way.
Tail wheel.
Yeah, that's what I have now.
Another guy. Have you guys ever watched? If you want to get some totally off the wall, views on takeoffs and landings, you guys ever watch the Bush pilot in their short takeoff, short?
I sure have.
Yeah.
They get a Cub with a 200 horse motor in it, 40-inch wheels on it.
Yeah, and they come in the landing like that on a high altitude and just put the tail with first and then boom.
when they land, they're landing, full stall and everything like that. But even takeoff, it's funny because you can see them go, woof, they're taking off. The angle of attack is very high on the airplane, and they'll try to hold it. They'll actually rotate some, and they got a lot of rotating to do because of big wheels and stuff like that. And then on landing, they'll try to come in, and they'll literally be hanging on the prop trying to get that thing down on the tail.
Yeah.
Slam on the brakes, and the airplane will actually know, it'll heel up on the wheels and stuff like that.
So what I'm usually doing when I'm landing, I kind of set the plane on an altitude. It's either like that or a little bit nose up, right?
That's what I try to do.
And I just hold this attitude all the way through as it comes in. It's bleed speed and stuff like that. So the lower I get to the ground, I keep adding up a little bit throughout my landing. I never give it down. Always a little bit of up. Add some up, add some more, add some more, add some more as the plane slows down. Just constantly adding up while I'm maintaining my glide slope, right?
Yeah.
So it may start on this attitude, and then it may end up to about this attitude when I'm touching down, actually.
Yeah, and you hit on a really good point there. The airplane might be like, it might look like it's flying very level, but really what we're looking at is we want the angle of the airplane, not the flight path. That isn't the flight path of the airplane. The flight path is going to be actually going down.
Exactly.
Even though high. So you want to try to line that up so it looks like it does when it's sitting on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So, Charles, that's back to your question. Try to line it up like it looks like it's sitting on the ground, and then try to fly it into the ground that way. And it is as it slows down, like Tryon says, you got to keep you'll feel it. You got to start to keep feeling the up and stuff. And when you feel the wind blow on the tail, you'll definitely feel the airplane start to descend and stuff like that. But it gives you that last little chance to just stall out and take all the energy out of the airplane before it touches on the ground.
Yeah.
So,
At the last second, do you do a flare?
I don't try to do a conscious. The flare basically is continuously increasing. All right.
Yeah, you're doing the flare completely.
I don't come down and then flare. I'll come down and I'll just try to keep the nose high. All right.
So what I usually do, so I'm establishing my position of the plane before the landing when the motor stops. Let's say it's a little bit like this, just a tiny bit of nose up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I let it glide in. And as it glides in and gets, I'm kind of establishing a very shallow gliding path, right? And that's what I'm focusing on the gliding path. If it tries to fall below it, I just give it a little bit of extra up, okay, and hold. And as it glides, as it gets closer and closer and closer and closer, you're getting closer and closer to the stall speed, and you are constantly adding a little bit of up elevator. Just that's and it's not much of a flare at the end of it, because and even at the end of it, just maybe a touch of a little extra up, is going to stop the descent just in the very last nick of time as you just touching in and just rolling on the ground. That's what I like to do. But lately I've been trying to land. I said, let me try to land slow. Slow looks like that. The plane like it's touching on a tail wheel and then drops, or I can land a little bit faster with a little bit more flatter attitude of the plane. Kind of the same thing, tiny bit of up elevator just before I'm touching down, so I soften up that as it settles in on the ground, and then just I let it roll. But on smooth pavement, I have issues with smooth pavement because if I do this, I'm coming too hot. If I do the other stuff when I'm coming very slow, then I'm touching with the tail goes, then the nose comes down.
I have a question.
I thought I didn't look too good, so I don't know what the judges are looking for, because I can do it either way. I don't care.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Peter.
You're flying electric, right?
Yeah.
Isn't there a way to program or a way to set the programming that when at the end of your flight, you're not landing a dead stick, but you have like a reduced power where the motor is not spinning as fast, so you're actually doing a powered landing?
If I wanted to do that, I'll have to probably integrate a different chip with a Igor Burger timer, basically.
Now I just found that might be an interesting avenue to explore, at least for the guys flying electric.
You can definitely do that, yes, but the timer I'm using right now does not allow me to do that. However, that being said, you can have since say you have an Igor timer that runs fine, you just set that thing to run for 10 minutes and you don't give a rat's ass how long the flight is. And what you do, you have the chip being like a write a program, so the Igor timer is going to come through it and it's going to be received, but it will not be outputted out unless you are in a flight portion of the flight, okay? And you can do anything with the beginning and the end of it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's feasible to do that. I find that one of the things when we first started flying electric, there were a lot of governor systems that were designed for helicopters. They didn't let you set a prop brake and run the governor at the same time. So if you ran a governor when the motor shut off, the prop would windmill, would freewheel to a stop. And the trouble with that is you can't believe how much of a brake that free spinning prop is. All right. You'd have to talk to the free flight guys to get a real answer on that, stuff like that. So it was really an advantage to get to where we could, lock up the prop and maintain the glide and stuff like that. So the thing that I worry about now is even with the prop, with a prop brake, and I can, have maximum control of my glide and everything like that. I'm still trying to make sure that I start my descent from a proper altitude. I've never had any success starting a descent from 4 to 6 feet. All right.
No,
The
I agree.
hardest place in the world to land is 4 to 6 feet. I try to be up around 20 or 30 degrees when I know the motor's going to stop, and then I can control my energy coming down. I can whip it for an extra half a lap or whatever, or just let it coast. And that's how. And it takes a little bit of practice, obviously, to know when to whip it, when to lay off, if it's windy, if it's calm, to try to get into that position. So I can be in my descent. It's like 4 feet off the ground, heading into the wind. Half of that in front of the judges, and on the ground, a quarter lap after that with the wind blowing on the tail. And it just takes a little practice to do all that.
Do you modify your descent speed? Are you coming in like this, or are you coming in like this?
I try to come in at a constant descent, reducing the descent as it gets closer to the ground.
Okay, so kind of like this.
Imagine, to a lesser extent, imagine the space shuttle landing. A rock coming in. The closer it gets to the ground, it would flare out, bleed off that last little bit of speed, and touch down. So on a lower scale, that's the kind of thing. If you start up high, 20 or 30 degrees, you can pick and choose that a little bit. Last year, I was flying the Stuka Stunt, 34-ounce airplane. Doesn't have any energy, all right, when the motor shuts off. So I would tend to land that one from a very high altitude and then I was into a fairly aggressive dive early on, maintaining that energy because, of course, it would slow down in a hurry. And then, of course, the big airplane was 67, literally twice as heavy, and it had it had more energy than it needed.
I can glide my plane forever. I can glide my plane forever.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, some airplanes you can whip them up forever. There's not any energy to do it and anything like that. And but yeah, that's it. Now, one thing I haven't tried, that I really don't try, is in the international rules the FAI rules, they actually want you to touch down. They want your landing to start at 6 feet off the ground and touch down one lap later.
Wow.
And I talked to people like Bill Werwich. He said things. He kind of shrugged and said, "Don't worry about it. All you do is screw up your landings." All right. So what he would do is, his landing would start at 6 feet, and he would make a smooth descent to a landing. And he's got a couple of world championships to say that probably worked out all right for him. So
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, slightly.
yeah, I mean,
Slight
you can get there, and so I think the other thing is, and kind of play off whatever. It's like like we were saying before, you got to do the landing and takeoff every flight. You may as well practice it because they're going to score it, and you're going to be kicking yourself in the butt if you blew it.
Right.
I know.
But see, I practice in grass and compete on asphalt or a hard surface. So that's
grass is a whole other animal.
hard for me to practice when I'm getting scored on because I usually get one warm-up flight, and that's about it.
One of the things that you guys are describing a pretty good approach in landing for a two-wheel gear, main gear. But with a trike, I found it works best for me is I'll start at the 4 to 6 feet, and I'll fly it to the ground. I'll fly it to down about maybe a foot or two off the ground before I start my flare, and then I slowly bring the flare in. And I don't have as because I've usually come around into the wind at that point, so it slows it down for me. Then I'm going downwind. That slows it down for me. So now as I set it, I've got just a slight positive, sets it on the mains, nice and smooth. Now, as soon as it's on the mains, as soon as that nose wheel comes down, I get a little bit of down to keep it glued to the ground.
Yeah, you can do that with a trike.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I
try to do that on give you some down elevator to glue the plane to the ground.
Then nose is
and I'm flying in like this. I'm landing and down elevator, and the plane goes like. You feel like the wheel just really leaning on those main wheels.
Yeah.
And the tail coming off the ground.
Yeah, well, that's the advantage of a trike. You can do that.
It's really, like Dennis said, you will notice if you start flying a trike gear, you will notice a bump in your scores on takeoff and landing. And that, a lot of times, is the difference.
That's no humbug.
I would like if I had trike on my plane because I can land with a much higher angle of attack and I just really settle it in and let it roll on the mains and then bring the nose down just nice and softly. Give it full down elevator, just really stop it.
Just like Bart.
Bill, I'm going to be expecting some big takeoff and landing scores from you.
I hope so.
Yeah, Phil.
I don't know what I got last time. I think last time I got 40s and 36 on my landings and takes off. So, I mean, they're not bad already, but.
Yeah, it's not bad. Being 36s, that's not bad.
And actually, with a trike gear, it's really easy to implement a brake on a nose wheel. It's like really simple to do on a trike gear airplane. I did that on a an Air Cobra RC kit that I converted to control line, and basically that had a trike gear. I had throttle control on it, but with a trike gear, you make a little shoe that sits above the tire, and on the back of the shoe you have a little control line wire into a little pulley. So when I would turn around, I'd give it full down. The little shoe would pivot and press against the tire. It would basically act like a brake. And as I gave it up, elevator on a takeoff roll, it would release the pressure on that little shoe that was pressing against the tire and release the braking effect. It's really easy to stop on a trike gear. It's not so easy on a wing mounted or a tail dragger.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Palmer once told me about a contest back in the early days he went to, and at this particular stunt contest, there were the bonus points at the end of the flight when you landed. Who could land closest to this line they had drawn across the field or the area? And that thing was you had to try to judge your landing, and you roll out, and you wanted to get as close as you could to that line. Well, Bob, being the type of a person he is, and very inventive and a thinker, he did very similar to what Pete just described. Only he hooked it up. It was basically hooked up to his bell crank, and so he roll it, and about 5 feet before he got to that spot, he was on a trike gear. So about 5 feet before he got there, he just gave it full down, and finished that. He parked it right on top of the line. Of course, he did win the meet.
Yeah, you figure here's your nose gear, and this is like a representation of the shoe. You have it mounted to the music wire coming down right about there with a pivot point, right about where my finger is, and back here would just be a piece of control line wire going up into the fuselage and going back to your belt crank. So when you give it full down, the shoe would kind of like press against the wheel like this. Wow. And when you gave it up, it would like go like that, and you can see what the effect that would have.
Amazing. Tom, you got your hand up.
Oh, yeah, back in the 70s, Dubrow made a wheel brake for airplanes, and basically it was a clear plastic hub that would fit into the spokes of the tire or the wheel, and then on the outside it just had like a drum, and there was a wire that was real closely wrapped several times around that drum, and then at the end of the wire it came to a loop, and then you just attach a string and hook it to a servo, and that would actuate the brake.
Yep. Wow. The wire would you put tension on the wire, and the wire would act like a friction point.
I had it on the Corsair, and it worked great for takeoffs. You could run the motor up and then release the brakes, and it took off and looked really good. You could run it up where the tail wheel was in the air, and then drop the brakes and take off. Don't do it on landing. Them nose over.
All right, I'm gonna try this again. The last time I tried sharing my screen, I got kicked off. My browser kicked off. Let me show you guys something here.
Sure. Sounds good.
You got here too late to see the Vanguard where it's at, Denny.
All right. Did that come up?
Not yet.
Not yet.
All right. This is my attempt to get the efficiency of a retract system without bothering to go with retracts. All right. A single wheel, some outriggers on the wing, the tail wheel, everything like that. And you notice where the wheels are and stuff. It basically handled like a normal airplane, except for one thing. Where that wheel was, if I held tension on the lines while the airplane was rolling out, the wheels would align themselves perfectly to the rolling radius of the circle, and it would easily roll 3/4 of a lap. If I pulled on it even a little bit, I could probably keep it going indefinitely.
Ooh.
Which was kind of a pain in the butt when you're rolling out, you're doing like a 7 or 8 second rollout at the end of the pattern, and trying to work that in under an 8-minute pattern was easy. We got to practicing for the FAI team trials, and it's like I'm spending 10 seconds after the landing watching the airplane roll out,
Yeah.
And we ended up on the fly. The fastest thing we could do, the fastest safe thing we could do, is I just actually kind of wrapped some wire around the tail wheel and kind of boogered it up so it didn't spin real easy. And it was enough to get it down to about a 1/4 to 1/3 of a circle, which was a huge improvement from where I started. But anyhow, it was a blast. I'm going to build another one of them one day. So
very, very good.
Hey, I saw that.
Yours not intentional. You give it some tension on the wires, and the plane would start moving forward.
That's about it. Just about it. All right.
Denny, was the orange crate yours?
Yeah.
I saw the plans for that the other day. Where was it?
I don't know. That's something to take up with our good buddy Bob Hunt. I don't know why he did it. I sent him the plan. He was in a hurry to get something published before Nationals. I sent him the plans. I didn't have any good lettering or anything like that, but I sent him the ink lines. He said he'd take care of all the lettering, title block, and everything like that. So he wrote up the title block and everything like that. He put my little brother's name in the title block.
Yeah, yeah.
I asked him about it. He says, "What?" And look, he said, "How in the hell did I do that?" You know, he wrote an apology a month later and everything else, and it's like, but yeah, I've been looking.
What are friends for?
Yeah,
all you animations looked alike, you know.
yeah, that's it. That's it. You know, like I said, that's why we wear the name tags at the Christmas party. But
Oh. You met one animation.
but yeah, but I think that's what John was alluding to, and he looked at the name at the plans and said, "What the hell is this?" You know. So.
You know, I know it's kind of late, but I had a little wrinkle I wanted to add. I've seen, I have a couple of Olympics, and you know the main gear, they're kind of tilted in.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, what is that for? Do you know what that was for?
Shock absorption.
Shock absorption.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you trace it all the way back into the wing, he had the torsion bars going perpendicular to that, so it was a real soft gear that would set down and
stick.
It would stay. And if you I don't know, I mentioned that wrote my little note about Bob and everything at that memories. I still think the Olympic article should be mandatory reading for anybody who really wants to, really wants to get insight to what it took and what it still takes, to be the top of the game.
Wasn't that the annual from?
I think it was an American modeler. I think it was the annual.
Yeah, I had that one time. I don't know where it went.
So
yeah, I got a really fragile copy of the paper article, but then I got the Thomas Wilkes CD, and he's got it on there.
Oh, okay.
If y'all ever find that article,
it's like
I'd
10
read
pages.
Yeah, I have the building article of the Olympic.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's it. But you read the article, and he just goes into a lot of detail. Why did I do this? Why did I do that? And then it was Olympic
the barbell effect.
The thing he did is he said, "This is what Mark 1 was. Mark 2, I did this. Mark 3, I did that." Okay. And he started talking about, like, I think Mark 2, I think it was, frankly, this was a dud. I like that.
Yeah,
you read the articles, and they're all, every magazine article, except mine, of course. No. Every magazine article is like, it's 10 years in development. Got built on advice of this bearded man sitting on a mountaintop or something like that. And it's like, no, it's just you cut a little, you add a little, you take a little away, and TLAR, that looks about right.
Yeah.
And then sooner or later it all kind of comes together. But then the next airplane, you say, you still think, well, yeah, that was a good one. Now the next one, what am I going to do to make it better? And it's not the same. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Hey guys, I'm going to end the stream. Of course, you
my
can
eternal
keep on in the after party, but let me just cut the stream. I want to cut the stream. So, anyways, I want to thank everybody for coming in, and Chris, it was great having you come on in. I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate Wes, Montana Farmer, coming in, and I appreciate everybody who regularly comes in as well. But I'm excited to get 2 new guests, and we're moving in the right direction by getting more people. And I want to point out to those who are actually watching the replay, again, if you want to come in to the program, we do this on Monday and Friday evenings at approximately 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to come in or put questions on the chat and get responses back, that's when you want to come in. And of course, if you are a member of Stunthangar, you can find the link under at the bench, and that's how you can get it in. So we have 10 likes, and if you guys would please, when you get a chance to watch the video, if you would hit the like button and share, that would be awesome. Help grow the channel. So and don't forget the super chats. didn't get any super chats today, and didn't get any subscriptions today. But don't remember. I mean, please remember to subscribe and share. And hey, this is Monday. Good show. We're gonna get back together again Friday. So hopefully between now and then, you have a break in the weather. You can go out there and have some fun, and come back and tell us about what you did. So until then, I'll see you guys at the same time next Friday. And thank you very much. We will see you again, hopefully soon.